Our first guest today managed to pull off the ultimate illusion and fooled some of the world's greatest magicians.
Now then, back in 1991, Sophie Lloyd became the first female member of the Magic Circle, despite only men being allowed to join at the time. The question is, how did she do it? By posing as a man during her audition.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen that yet. That's amazing. She managed to keep the Magic Circle fooled until she revealed her true identity and promptly got kicked out.
After vanishing without a trace, she disappeared for more than 30 years. Until now, we're delighted to say that Sophie is here to tell her story alongside the first female chair of the Magic Circle, Laura London. Good morning to both of you. It's lovely to have you here.
Morning.
Sophie, you're a hard person to track down.
Yes.
You went missing for 30... You didn't strictly go missing, of course, but you went missing for 30 years, and Laura has managed to drag you back in. I mean, Laura, it's an extraordinary story, this now.
Oh,
you are the first female chair of the Magic Circle. Can you explain, just in case anybody doesn't know, what the Magic Circle is and why it exists?
Well, of course. Well, the Magic Circle is a magic society that's been around since 1905. So, in fact, this year we're celebrating 120 years with lots of celebrations and events, which is amazing. I mean, but of course it's changed, it's evolved in all of these, the times that we've had over these decades, to a place now where we have this incredible building in the heart of London where magicians all come together, where every Monday they learn magic and come to see lectures and shows, and you can also come and see events. So it's a really special place. And I mean, it's always been a special place. We've got 1,800 members, with our latest being Sophie Lloyd, of course. And
I bet you
it's a place where magicians can learn magic and get together and share.
But getting into the Magic Circle isn't easy.
Really
It's
tough.
still very strict, isn't it? What are the criteria?
Well, it's incredibly hard. Of course, you have to do an exam in front of examiners. You perform magic. You are judged, or you are scored based on your presentation and skill. So you have to have both of those in spades to pass. And well, we know someone that managed to do that. So yeah, it's not an easy thing to get into. And and as a consequence of that, all the magicians that get together share really, really extraordinary magic.
Yeah. So, Sophie, how did you first get into magic and what made you want to be a part of the Magic Circle?
Well, I came to London from Devon, where I was staying at the time, and I went to mime school in Hammersmith, and I met a magician who was there at the same time. And we got very, very friendly with each other. I mean, a dear friend. And she desperately wanted to get into the Magic Circle, but they just wouldn't let men in. Anyway...
Because it was only men allowed back then?
Yes, only men in the night. Yeah, only men. And so Jenny one day said to me, and this is not to do with this particular thing, she said to me, you know, I've got an idea. You could play... Would you like to be my assistant?
Right.
And I thought, oh, yeah, that's good. I was a young actress, you know.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, you know, it was all dazzle then in the 80s and 90s. So I thought, yeah, I could do that, you know. I really thought...
Stars in your eyes.
Oh, I loved it. And she goes, oh, no, it doesn't work that way. Oh, no, I'm going to... No, men have women and women have men. You're going to be male. And I went, oh, OK.
And so you were disappointed about the idea of having to play a male character?
But yeah, I was actually. And so I went over initially to play Claude, not seriously. I had an island wig and we did show after show after show. Went on really well, took it all over London. And then she said to me, I've got the most wonderful idea. You could play my little boy. And I thought, oh, yeah, I could do that. It's easier to play a boy anyway. And so, small, etc. But we still had to do the pretense of getting a body made, you know, the foam body, you had plumpers in those days on braces to pull out your face, because I was in my 20s.
Yes, OK, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to a proper wig, not a nylon one this time, etc. Anyway, looked really, really good. And then we were doing a gig, and she took this boy everywhere. Went to Hippodrome, went to Stringfellows, even so much that we actually went to, and she said to me, you know, why don't we go to a children's agency and say how good you are? And I mean, it's a big one. And I went, oh, I don't know. Yeah, OK, let's go for it. And they totally loved it. The little boy did, he was 12, he did
And they all thought you were a little boy?
Oh, yeah.
No one at any point?
Absolutely not.
So when did the idea to take Timmy Potter, I think was the name of the character, right? When was the idea to get Timmy Potter to audition for the Magic Circle?
Right, how it happened was, they actually took me on the books, And
The child's agency?
Yes, 3 weeks later, but obviously I didn't, couldn't do that because of no. But anyway, and then she was really impressed with that. That was it. She thought, wow, this is brilliant. So we did a gig. I was staying over one night, banged on my door and said, I've got the most amazing idea.
She had a lot of amazing ideas, didn't she?
And I went, oh, no, not another one. She said, you can play 18. And I said, well, there's no way I play 18. Come on, the voice, etc. No, you don't understand. I never understood anything. And so anyway, we can do this. After a lot of talking, I became Raymond.
Oh, so this was the alter ego that then went on to audition for the Magic Circle.
Yep.
So what did you actually have to do, and how long did you keep the subterfuge up for?
This is much more complicated because we took it really quite serious, this one. It took 18 months. We had to completely transform him from a child, back to the wig makers again. And we had an older wig made for an older child.
Yes.
An 18-year-old for that era. We had to work on his kept the glasses, actually, didn't change that. But the plumpers had to be changed. And they're on braces, a bit of plastic either side, and you put them on it. But this had to be more elongated.
It's significant. I mean, you're not just walking in and you're really going to town on the whole look and the feel. So how did you feel when you auditioned? Because getting into the Magic Circle, as we've just been discussing, is not easy.
No, it wasn't. And also we had to have a new body made because it had a more older body and I wore gloves.
Right.
And then
to disguise your hands?
Yes, with little boy, you didn't have to do that.
Does that make magic trickier, though, because
yeah.
you've got gloves on?
And what about your voice, Sophie?
Well, that was it, you see. It was a silent act done to the entertainer, the piano rag music.
Of course, yeah, Scott Joplin.
Yeah, yes, that's right. I have that as a ringtone on my phone.
Still now?
Yeah, even now. Don't I? And, that was much harder. The actual Jenny taught me for 18 months, and she was amazing. It's all Jenny's idea.
Yeah.
I mean, and I have to say, she was a brilliant magician. She worked with many top magicians.
She sounds like a proper mastermind as well.
She does.
It was all Jenny's idea, yeah. And we did Jenny did the whole routine. She played my manager that went to she was brilliant, actually. It was a 20-minute routine. And you could either choose your own venue or you could do it at headquarters. And we thought, no, we do our own venue. And we performed in front of 200 people and 3 examiners.
Yes.
And it all went well.
Wow.
And you got in?
Yeah.
Well, no laryngitis.
Oh, yeah. And it all went, we did a lot of sleight of magic and big pyrotechnics, which was my thing at the time. I love pyrotechnics. Couldn't do that now because you couldn't. But at the end, they just wanted us to... I didn't expect this. I just think they said, oh, hello, that was OK, let you know. Oh, no. Jenny said, oh, no, we've got to go out and talk to him. I said, I can't. She said, just do it, only be a few minutes, have a bad throat. And I went, oh, it's really bad throat. I'm really, really sorry about this. Anyway, he brought me a pint.
Amazing.
And it went on 1 hour and 3/4.
Chatting to him with a bad
level of
throat.
subterfuge.
So you've got in, you've fooled them all, which must have been fabulous. But then when eventually they decided they were going to let in women and you explained finally you could reveal the fact you were a woman, what was their reaction?
That was disappointing. I mean, I wasn't too bothered, but Jenny was mortified. When she found out that women were actually being let in, she gave them actual... I don't know how she did it. I think it was just a telephone, actually, call. And she said to me the next day, well, that didn't go well. Anyway, we left it because she was so excited. She knew these people. A lot of them were her friends. And she said to them, she thought they were going, oh, you're so clever, Jenny.
Yeah,
and
of
all
course.
this, that, the other. And it was so different. 3 days later, we got a letter to say, right, you're expelled. And she was so upset.
Oh.
And we went to a convention as me. I never went as me. I wore a blonde wig as Sophie and always went differently. And they snubbed her. But however, things have changed. We're going back 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It's so different.
And now, Laura, things have changed. And now women can be let in.
Well, yes, in 1991 they let women in. I was 8 years old when I fell in love with magic, but I'm very grateful to the fact that when I started discovering magic, women were allowed in. So I didn't really know any different. I can't imagine what it was like for someone like Jenny, who couldn't get in, who was going around doing extraordinary magic.
Yeah.
In fact, Jenny even performed at the headquarters in 1999 for the members on a members' night, and got a letter, which I've seen, that says, "Thank you for such a brilliant show. The members loved it." So, yes, it's changed, because I can't imagine what that was like being her. And now, though, we're such an inclusive, different place. I mean, I should say, we actually snuck Sophie in before the big reveal on a members' night, and we put her in the corner, and when any members came over, we said, "Oh, meet our friend Raina." Nobody suspected a thing, which was amazing. Now, of course, it's very different. Everyone knows who she is.
And
in
she's
fact,
back where she should be.
yesterday we took her to a members' night, and she was there as a full member of the Magic Circle.
The star of the show.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Well, look, thank you both for joining us. You're going to do a trick for us. We've run out of time a little bit, so what we're going to do is we're going to record the trick in the break, and then we'll put that on the app so you can see the trick that we were going to have here. But unfortunately, because it's such an incredible story, and we've told it so beautifully, we've run out of time. But thank you so much for coming in.
Oh,
thank you.
It's absolutely fine. It's a pleasure.
Thrilled
to
that you're
see
back in where you should be as
Thank
well.
you.
It's really lovely.
Thank you.
And we'll try and dig out and put it on the app, your original appearance on This Morning, all those
Yes,
years
that'd be
ago.
wonderful.
That'd be really lovely. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having
Oh,
us.
hello.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning. And then being told that you've got a big mouth isn't necessarily always a compliment, is it?
No, not necessarily.
Unless it's the title you've always dreamed of.
Well, for Marie Pearl Zelma Robinson, the moment she'd been waiting for finally came this year when she was crowned with the Guinness World Record for the world's largest mouth gape for a female.
Look at that, that's 5
That's
Jenga
a
bricks.
mouth gape.
A mouth gape.
That's a technical term.
It's a decent-sized hole, isn't it? It doesn't only look impressive, but she can fit all sorts of things in there, which we're going to try and put to the test in a moment. Marie joins us live from her home in Alaska. Marie, thank you so much for staying up to talk to us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Firstly,
very early for me.
Very early for you, yeah, very early. Firstly, congratulations on becoming a Guinness World Record holder. It is quite something. Can you tell us a little bit about how you came to be named as having the biggest female mouth gape? How did you realise that this was a skill that you had that could necessarily be a world-breaking skill?
It's one of those things where you've always had it and you never knew you had it. So as a kid, I used to, put things in my mouth all the time because I had lots of siblings, 3 older brothers, 3 younger sisters. You do a lot of crazy stuff. And then I just kind of forgot about it. And then I used it once to impress a guy. We'd played some perfect Jenga games. So I stacked some Jenga blocks and said, "See how much I can fit in." And then I forgot for like 20-ish years. And I keep track of the Guinness World Records. And all of a sudden, I knew that the guy had a record. I always was impressed by it. I was like, oh, I can never beat that guy. But then they came up with one for a girl. And she was actually going for a width. And they just happened to measure her height as well. And then I was like, I think I can beat that height. And so, sorry, mosquitoes, Alaska. So I got a measuring device and I tested it with a dollar bill because that's 2.5 inches high, which was her record. And then I went on to, go to my dentist and they measured it. And then the process went on from there until I could prove it and got myself a Guinness record.
So this is essentially your mouth gape here. It's the height that you can...
3 inches.
Yeah. We measured it very, very carefully to make sure it does, Marie, match exactly the gape that you possess.
Yes, then that would be accurate. That looks about right.
So you can put all sorts of things into your mouth to prove this, can't you?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think we've got some footage of you with a 8-stack beef burger.
I think I went up to 10 actually.
You got 10, sorry, 10.
Yes. 10. I had 12, but I called it at 10 because I was squishing the bun a little too much.
Ow. Have you ever hurt yourself doing this? Or is there any foods that you can't eat because your jaw is so wide?
No, actually, it doesn't hurt at all. I've never had any issues. Like I've never had my jaw tighten up. I've never dislocated it or anything. I haven't really thought about not being able to eat particular foods because it's never come up as an issue. The biggest issue I have is actually closing my mouth because my teeth don't come together. So pizza and, biting through sandwiches is sometimes kind of hard.
Ah, okay.
I think I'm right in saying, Marie, that you've got a few items there so you can show us live
Yes.
the world's biggest mouth gape in action. What are you gonna show us first?
Well, you got some stuff on the table there. Is
Yeah.
there anything in particular you would like to see?
Well, shall we start small?
Yeah, let's start.
Shall we go from small to large?
Big, yeah, okay. So
Does
the
that
smallest thing I think we've got is a small satsuma in orange.
Mandarin orange.
Okay, so this is so we should point out as well. Our lawyers have asked us to explain to everybody at home. Please don't try this at home.
But our producer said if you could just stick one of those in your mouth, quick, sharp. That's what they said
Most
to
people
us.
can try to bite it sideways. That's not a problem for most people.
Yeah.
But turning it
Oh my, there you go.
wide,
I just
turning it top to bottom too.
I couldn't find you more attractive. Okay, so we're not too bad. Oh, you've got it all. Yours has disappeared. I don't know if you've got reverse vision there, Marie, because Kat also. Yours has got. Careful,
Yeah,
don't
see?
choke. So that's good.
That's
okay,
a common one.
let's go. So that's a common one. So then we're going to
That's
move.
quite nice.
We're going to move on to the apple.
I don't have an apple. I have a kiwi.
Oh, kiwi. Okay, go kiwi then. Go kiwi. What you have a go with your apple.
Shall Do you
She's a lady. She's a lady. Talking about that little.
Miss Bentley?
I said it before. She's not as expensive as she looks.
Everybody wants to try the fruit. It's a common first attempt. Safe.
Safe, very safe. Right. Okay. So what else have you? Have you got a baseball there? I think.
Yes, I do. A
You've
little
got
bit
a
harder.
baseball.
Now,
Right, so-
baseball
Yeah.
measures closer to 3 inches.
These are getting close to your
I can't
world
do that,
record.
I don't
Have you? Right. Let's see if before you do it, Marie Cat, see if you can get it in because I don't hurt your teeth. No. That's not going in.
No.
I think we've hit your limit. Just under 3 inches. Right then, Marie,
I almost
will
got my buns off there.
will you show us yours?
Okay. So the goal is to try to get your teeth to the top and the bottom across the diameter.
Oh, she struggles.
Oh, it's there though. It's there. That's there.
It's not the best because once you get to that angle, it starts hitting your back
Of
teeth.
course, yeah. it
You
gets
see,
that. Yes,
you
yes,
see,
yes,
that's
yes,
the problem.
yeah,
It
yeah.
starts to.
You've got we've seen you on with a clip of you putting your can of beans. Can you get that can of
No,
beans?
never.
No, that's too big.
No.
This
No.
is actually beyond the previous world record holder. She couldn't quite do this measurement here. This is, well,
Quite close though.
So yeah,
She
you did come
couldn't- she
quite
couldn't-
close. Yeah. So that's how you knew you could break the world record, is it, Marie? Because you realised that the current the previous world record holder couldn't quite get round a can of beans.
But you can.
yeah, this is 7.23 centimeters across the can of beans here.
Okay.
So this would have been beyond her abilities.
But not beyond yours. Can you give us a quick demo?
This is a tricky one. It's right at my limits.
Oh yes. Yes.
I can sort of chomp on it a tiny bit.
A little bit. Do you do sort of exercises to try and increase the gap, Marie? Is there things that you try and practice to make it bigger?
Mostly just yawning. When I drive around because I have a courier business, I tend to practice stretching my mouth and, just while I'm out and about. It's mostly about when you're opening your mouth, making sure your tongue isn't being pulled back.
Okay, so keep your tongue forward.
Positioning and holding it steady. That's the hardest part, is holding it steady.
Yeah, that's the most intense. Now, we've got some biscuits here that are very sort of native to the UK, I think, wagon wheels. I don't know if you have wagon wheels in America. Have you seen these chocolate biscuits?
No. It kind of looks like a moon pie.
Yes, a little bit like that.
Moon pie.
A little bit like that,
Yeah.
right? You know moon pie.
Yeah.
Well, famously, Kat Deely here, the ever beautiful and talented young lady that she is,
Graceful,
put
delicate
3 of these
little
in your
flower.
mouth a few years back.
Look how little I am there.
In the presence of Jerry Springer, who, look, I mean, that's there.
I mean, it's not bad, is it? I'm not a professional.
I mean, there's not many things that can shock Jerry Springer, but your abilities with
Bring
wagon
on the
wheels.
horse.
Right, are we going to try and recreate this? Marie, we're going to try and see if we can get Kat to recreate,
Let's see.
in your honour, Marie, to see if she can get these 3 wagon wheels in her mouth. It's a few years since you did this.
Okay.
You did have your little
I'm
Geordie
really
friends with you.
hoping that these haven't got bigger over time.
I think a shrinkflation, they've got smaller, you'll be fine.
Okay, here we go,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen.
Is there a drum roll on this?
And that's why they pay me the big bucks.
Oh, Marie, look what you've inspired over this side of the pond. Do you think Kat's
I'm
got...
impressed,
Do
I
you
think,
do you
Mose.
think Kat's got some form? She could get there one day. She could match your mouth gape.
With a bit of practice. But you just
Excellent.
really have to hold that open really hard.
Marie, do people spot you in the street and ask for pictures and stuff now that you're a Guinness World Record holder?
Generally it's mostly just congratulations, because I'm already known about town. I live in, small island in the middle of nowhere in Alaska. So, everybody already knows me to begin with for the most part. But it has made people a lot more comfortable when when they see me passing by on the street. There's an automatic familiarity with somebody who, something about me. Ha ha. I have had the first time someone celebrity sighted me was a really tall guy, and he was just walking. He looked over me as I was getting out of my car to go into the grocery store. He's looking over a car. He's like, "Hey, you!" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I know you. Didn't you get a Guinness record?" And I was like, "Oh, yes, I did." He's like, "Welcome to celebrity status in Ketchikan." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Very
Thank you.
sweet. Well,
he turned out to be a radio host, so I did go on his show after that, so that was
Amazing.
nice.
very cool. Well, thank you for joining us this morning, Marie. Thank you. It's also reminded me just how good wagon wheels
Yes.
are. They're delicious.
You've left me with some very powerful memories, Maria, so I can't thank you enough for that. It's lovely to meet you. Congratulations on your record.
Thank you. It's nice to be on your show.
Thank
Lovely to see
you.
Wow, Kat Deely.
Yeah, these are delicious, though.
Just
It
one at
hasn't put me off.
one at a time.
One at a time.
One at
with
a time would be our advice.
Thank you
Right
for
then,
visiting
still-
our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning. By 2 extraordinary world record holders whose stories are just as incredible as their heights.
Yeah, towering at 7 feet, over 7 feet, the same height as a stepladder, Ramisa Gelji is officially the world's tallest woman.
And standing at just 2 feet tall, which is smaller than the average 2-year-old, Jyoti Anji holds the title for the world's shortest woman.
Now, both have travelled all the way from their homes in India and Turkey to celebrate Guinness World Record Day and the 70th anniversary of those incredible books.
And they're joining us now alongside Jyoti's translator, Ravi, and Guinness World Record adjudicator, Joanne Brent. Welcome to everybody. Hello, good morning. Ramesa, let's start with you, first of all. So when you were born, you were a long baby, you were a big baby, you were about 13 pounds.
Yes,
But-
I was born as a huge baby.
Yeah, but then by the time you were 6, you were the same size as a fully grown woman.
Correct, yeah. Because I was born with an overgrowth syndrome called Weaver syndrome.
Right.
And, that comes from birth. I was born as a big baby and grew up so fast. Yeah.
And how was life like for you growing up? Because, of course, you're so much taller than anybody else in your class. What was life like for you?
It was not the easiest. For my education, I was homeschooled for elementary school and middle school, as well as high school. For my further education, I completed it online.
And how is that on a day-to-day basis? Because if you're not at school, you're probably not making as many friends as you normally would. So when were you able to use this to your advantage or come to terms with it?
I have to admit that I did not have many friends while growing up.
Yeah.
And I was struggling with my health issues, obviously. But I have a very supportive family and people around me.
Yeah.
So there was some good days and some bad days.
Sure. Yeah.
But now you actually quite like your height, don't you? You love being this tall.
Yeah.
What made the difference for you?
So after being a Guinness World Record holder, I became so much more confident in myself.
Yeah.
And in my height, obviously. And I started to say it, as a blessing, because this is my syndrome, my height, is what makes me an 8-time Guinness World Record holder.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like we talked about earlier on. It's being able to use that as your superpower. It's must be so lovely for you to hear that, Joe, as well. That that can empower people.
Yeah, and I think that's the story for both. Jyoti would agree as well that since being embraced into the Guinness World Records family, both of your dreams have come true. They've both gone on to travel, and Jyoti's done some incredible work even in Hollywood as well. And Rumesa does so much work advocating for awareness.
Yeah. Jyoti, let's move on to you through Ravi. How does your height impact your everyday life?
तुम्हारी everyday life पे तुम्हारी height का impact कैसे होता है? मतलब क्या advantage disadvantage है? कैसे लगता है तुम्हें?
मेरी हाइट सबसे छोटी है और 24 इंच है, तो मेरे घर पे जो सारा फर्नीचर है मेरे साइज का है। बस इतना प्रॉब्लम तो बहुत फेस करनी पड़ती है, अकेले बाहर ट्रैवल नहीं कर सकती, अकेले जा नहीं सकती, और जहाँ पे मैं पहुँच नहीं पाती वहाँ पे मेरी फैमिली हेल्प कर देती है।
So in day-to-day life, she get a little bit difficulties to do the things which she has to do every day. But on her home, she got everything according her height, so she can easily reach the things which she want to. Else, when she want to go out, she needs help from the family. She always she needs somebody around her, and if she can't reach the things, she needs somebody to help to do things. Yeah.
And so, but you've become an actress. It was always your dream to become an actress. How did it happen?
Heroine कैसे बनी?
मुझे जो एक्ट्रेस का नाम मिला वो अमेरिकन हॉरर स्टोरी से मिला, और मैंने ऐसे बहुत सारी डॉक्यूमेंट्री किए, और सबसे बड़ा मेरा शो था अमेरिकन हॉरर स्टोरी।
So she got chance because of her height in American horror shows, and that's how her journey will start as actress. And after that, she did many documentaries, and for her, the biggest achievement is the American Horror Show.
Yeah.
And how has that impacted on your confidence? I know you have a big social media following as well.
ये कैसे आपको impact करती है? ये सब चीज़ें आपको confidence देती है?
सोशल मीडिया और सबसे फर्स्ट गिनीज वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड ने मुझे पूरे वर्ल्ड में फेमस किया, और मैं गिनीज वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड का बहुत थैंक्स करती हूँ। अगर गिनीज वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड में मेरा नाम नहीं आता तो शायद मुझे नहीं पहचानते।
According to her, like the best part of her life is to get chance to be a part of Guinness Book of World Record, and because of that, she gained a lot of confidence, and that's how she become like more confident in everywhere, because everybody knows her because of Guinness Book of World Record.
Amazing. So, Jo, let's come to you. What was it like when these guys met for the first time? It must have been an amazing moment.
I think the one word to sum it all up is a celebration. Honestly, it's a celebration of differences, and it's a celebration of uniting two of our most iconic record holders.
Yeah.
I mean, at Guinness World Records, we have our Guinness World Records icons who are historical record holders in their own right, but they also embody the values of everything that we value at Guinness World Records. So thank you for being such great ambassadors for record breaking, the integrity you have, the respect, the passion, the fun, and of course, very important, inclusiveness.
Yeah. Rumesa, what was it like the moment when you guys met?
It was wonderful.
I bet.
Wonderful. I was waiting to meet Jyoti for a long time.
Yeah.
Like 10 years.
Yeah.
Because I know her even before my Guinness World Record journey has started. And it was amazing. She is gorgeous. She's so lovely. And we became friends immediately. And we have a lot of in common. We both love self-caring ourselves, you know, jewelries, makeup, and doing our hair. Yeah.
I love how you're so different, but you bonded over exactly the same things, like all women and girls do.
We might look opposite, but we have so much in common.
Yeah.
That's a lesson for us all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for coming today.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.
Welcome to you both.
Welcome.
Lovely to see you. And now
Thank you so much.
You're at the dog rescue centre, the Dogwood Animal Rescue Project, which took lovely Martha in. What's her story?
So originally, another rescuer saw her being advertised, given away on a advertisement site. Saw the condition of her eyes at that time, which was pretty horrific. They were very infected, some chronic health problems that resulted in her losing most of her vision and also being in chronic pain.
Yeah.
So this other rescue reached out to us and asked us if we were able to help her. We took her in. She's had several surgeries, regained much of her sight, and she's also now pain-free for the first time in her life.
She's extremely comfortable there, snoring away happily.
She is actually snoring.
Oh, bless her. So, therefore then, what made you want to enter her into this competition? World's ugliest dog.
You know, it was kind of a last-minute thing where she was... you know, we were just looking at these big gray jowls and these wrinkles, and when her eyes are open, they're quite red. And we just thought, for fun, at the last minute, that we'd put her in, and so it was a lot of fun to win the competition.
And I love her technique for winning. She won really by giving up.
She just laid there and snored just like this. This is kind of her. Her personality is very sedate, other than some periods of playfulness at home.
It's called the ugliest dog in the world, which is, you know, seems a bit mean, but actually what it is a celebration of uniqueness.
Absolutely. It's promoting adoption and rescue of dogs that are less than traditionally beautiful. And certainly they're all beautiful in their own way, and we love them, and dogs are such a gift. So it's a great way to promote dogs that maybe wouldn't get adopted normally because they don't look like what we think of traditionally as beautiful.
Well, she is gorgeous. And what is the next stage of her life now then? Because she is looking for another home. Has she found somewhere?
I love this. I mean, I've got the home.
She has found a home. I've been her foster mom for 6 weeks while she recovered from surgery. A lovely family applied to adopt her before the contest even happened, came and met her, fell in love, and are eagerly waiting to meet her or to welcome her into their home. We were just waiting for her to finish healing up from surgery, and she gets her sutures out this week, and she'll be going home very soon.
And the family's Jessica Burkhardt is the lady that you're talking about. She can offer Martha.
She is. It's
11,
it's her and her family.
Yeah, 11 acres at her family's home where Martha could explore the banks of a lake and rest underneath apricot and cherry trees.
What a life. It sounds perfect.
I want to live there.
It's going to be wonderful. And people can follow along on the Dogwood Animal Rescue page, and we'll be doing updates on how she settles into her new home.
And it just goes to prove that any dog can be rescued.
Absolutely. We're big fans of rescue, and I've been working in shelters for 30 years, and I see so many wonderful dogs waiting for homes.
Thank you
Really
very much
gorgeous.
indeed. It's lovely to talk to you. Great to see Martha so relaxed.
And so alert.
And
She's been fabulous. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Shelley.
be enough to tame the two Yorkshire pudding monsters who have risen from their plates at the Saxon King pub in Southend? We are about to find out.
Here we go.
They played them all.
Hey.
It was a great
Okay, guys. Hi there. Can you see? Yeah. Let me bring you round. Hey, darling. Oh, you're very greasy, aren't you? Come over here.
Pretty and sweet.
There you go, darling. There's a little seat there if you want to sit down. You can take your masks off. Are you okay? Take your masks off.
Guys, looking
Oh,
good.
wonderful.
Hey.
Oh,
It's
my goodness.
Pablo, James Pally and his son Aaron. Hey, guys. Well done, Rad.
Thank you so much for doing that. Look at this, so much work has gone into this. How long does it take to make these outfits then, James? How long would it take?
Hours.
Really?
When did you start doing it, James?
Well, started off, God, what would it be, 4 o'clock Saturday morning.
Oh, as in for this iteration, it's 4 o'clock
Yeah,
Saturday morning?
but we had a bit of an issue last night because we put the last bits out to dry and the foxes got them.
Oh,
you're
Fox is gone.
joking.
So these are still a bit sticky and not quite set.
So I see on your shirt.
Can I just say,
Fox is having a field day.
You've literally left a
Oh, we've left
trail,
the trail.
of Yorkshire
It's-
pudding
It's Hansel and Gretel.
right behind
It's
you.
Hansel and Gretel.
We need to get the foxes in here.
Yeah.
So where did the idea come from? Where's the origins of your Yorkshire pudding line?
Oh, well, 10 years ago, Aaron's older brother, we had loads left over one day. So we'd always sort of joked about he'd be running around with a cape on. So we said, oh, we'll turn it into a superhero.
Oh, that's so nice.
And
So we
Aaron,
did.
how much fun do you have doing this?
It's a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of work. But it's like cool to like dress up in all of it and.
Is it quite hot in there as well?
No, it's actually quite cold.
Is it?
It's really cold.
His body's going into shock. There's so much sugar on him.
So once you've made it, how long does it roughly, can it last for?
It's coated with lacquer and PVA and glued on with gummy bears.
So
Half one last night, I'm driving around
Really?
Essex, buying up as many gummy bears as I can find
you
just to
can.
redo it after the foxes got.
So are you going to use this for Halloween then?
Yeah.
Oh,
This outfit?
1 million.
It's going to get
1 million.
tucked
Is that
back
what you
up.
do every year? Is that
Yeah.
what it's for? It's a Halloween thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah, the
nice.
costume.
So how does it go down in the pub? Does the regulars love it?
It's everybody. We had a message from Sweden from a girl that I went to America with years ago when I came to America, and it's gone to Sweden, and she said that her daughter wants to dress up as a pudding at Halloween. Thanks very much.
What's the best thing? Do you like Yorkshire puddings, Aaron?
I love Yorkshire
I
puddings.
do as well. Are you up for trying some of our Yorkshire puddings here?
Yes. They look
Because-
scrumptious.
So I've made one set of Yorkshire puddings, and so has Dermot. And you are actually judging these on... What are you judging them on?
You're judging them on taste,
texture,
and rise, I think.
and rise. So have a little bit of a taste as you sit in here. We'll carry on talking to you. But why don't you? Should we put your head down?
Okay, yeah.
Come on, let's put
on the
your,
floor.
put your head down on the
Sure,
floor.
yeah.
There you go. There you go. Have a little taste and
like a Yorkshire
just
pudding?
Pass
decide
me one
which
over.
one.
Would you like to?
You need one of each.
One of each.
So there's that one and that one.
Ooh.
There you go.
There you go.
And you
So
get
let's
involved.
look at. So you're judging them on taste,
Rise.
texture. So rise first.
Probably this
Right,
one's more.
that one.
Oh no, it's not much rising going on there.
Oh,
So
which one did you? Where's the other one?
Catastrophe. Oh, it's there. I
Yeah,
couldn't
this one you need.
reach
This
it.
one.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
one are you going to go for? Rise.
This one.
far
yeah.
one.
Okay, that's
Oh, yeah,
mine, isn't it?
interesting. Yeah.
Okay, then
That's
texture.
Dermot's.
Especially you have to break them up to texture.
This
don't
one.
you?
They're very doughy.
Oh,
This
God.
one's softer though. I like this one.
Texture.
That one.
Oh,
That
Dermot's like you've won on texturing.
Yeah.
But here's
Rise.
the test. Here's the
This
test, though.
one.
Taste.
It's all about the taste, though, isn't it?
Taste.
Doughy.
Go on, taste mine first. Yeah, have a taste. Do you want some salt? Do you want a
A
little
lot
bit
of
of
fat is
salt?
falling off you as we go.
Oh yeah, bit of dripping
bit of
coming
salt.
through. Beef dripping in there.
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah, a bit of beef
Yeah.
dripping. Okay.
Get this one in.
What about Dermot's? What's he like? Have a little try of Dermot's. Don't you like mine?
Just stick these on.
Is it no good? Is it not? No. I think he's choking on my
With
one.
yours.
I don't think he likes
Got
mine.
no moisture left in my mouth after eating that.
No good? I think, who's won? Is it Dermot or Alison? Oh, Dermot, you've won. Take a bow. Absolutely. Oh, you've got a trophy. I'm so jealous. What would you like to say?
Well, I'd like to thank the boys first and foremost. But I love the fact you're still eating it. That's so impressive.
I like Alison.
But turn it up. I know you've got a big week ahead of you. But
They're
so
TikTok stars now.
we're dedicating this to you.
Oh,
That is where this has come from, right? You put this on TikTok. What happened?
It just went crazy. My long-suffering wife said, pop it on. I apologise, darling, for the hassle that these Yorkshires have been for the last few weeks. We literally popped it on with my 22 followers.
Right.
I'd only got it to see the rubbish that they sent me. And it went crazy. It went crazy. By the end of the next day, it was on 100,000. It's on 3 million.
Did someone pick it up and repost it or something? Like,
yeah, thousands and thousands and thousands
And then
of them.
supermarkets and brands got in touch as well. So what's happening? Is your life just taking off?
It's just crazy.
Well, that means you have to be in this outfit all the time. And can I just say, Aaron has eaten all of my Yorkshire pudding, even though I didn't win.
He's eating all of everyone's Yorkshire pudding.
Oh, he's putting your one on the side.
Thank you, Aaron. Brilliant.
He's on the costume on way out.
But you're not sick of Yorkshire puddings, then? You still eat
never
them
sick of
on your
Yorkshire
roast
pudding.
dinner and
Yeah.
everything. Oh,
Never be sick of it.
Thank you, James.
Now
Thank you,
go
Aaron.
and get out of this.
You can go and get out your outfit. Thank you so
Well done,
much.
boys.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.
Now, 15 years ago, our next guest hit rock bottom and was struggling to find a way out. Today, she's a self-help superstar and the most listened to woman in the world.
She has more than 21 million followers on social media, A-list fans like Oprah, the Kardashians. Mel Robbins is one of this century's most influential voices.
But how exactly has she managed to not only help herself, but give people all around the world the tools to change their own lives for the better? Well, it all comes down to two very simple words. Let them.
Let them. Just let them. You're just going to say let them. Let them. Let them. Let them. When I say let them, I get a jolt of superiority. And this is why people get this tattooed on their bodies.
By far, just one of the best self-help books I've ever read.
This is what you can't control. This little guy right here, that's you.
I love what you said about being present. It helps you feel the way that you want to feel.
I've spent my entire life being the fixer.
It is possible to be somebody that helps everybody else without losing who you are. In life, there are always three things I can control: what you think, what you do or don't do, how you process your emotions. The more you let other people be themselves, the better your relationships become.
I hope you know just how meaningful you taking the time to be here. And I just want to say thank you so much. It's meant the world to me.
Wow, and the incredible Mel Robbins joins us now. Good morning, Mel.
Good morning. Mel. Lovely to meet you.
We were just talking before and we were saying about where you came from and how you developed this idea and how you learned the hard way.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what it is about me, but I have to learn things the hard way. And all of the success that you see now, even watching that tape package, I'm like, who is that? And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's me. I think one of the reasons why I'm really connecting and resonating with people is this also happened later in life.
Yes.
So for those folks that don't know, when I was 41 years old, my husband's restaurant business started going under, and we, like complete morons, had secured the entire thing with our life savings, our house. And so we've got 3 kids under the age of 10. We find ourselves, in US dollars, it was $800,000 in debt. In pounds, it was $600,000 in debt. Liens hit the house. Like, we couldn't pay our bills. I had lost my job, and I found myself lying in bed every morning, unable to get out of bed, because I would just lay there and stare at the ceiling and think, I've completely ruined my life. And what happens in life is that I think there are people that are positively motivated, but if you're a normal human being, there comes a time where you get so sick of your own pain and excuses that pain makes you hit something solid inside yourself. And what happened for me is I just realized nobody's going to come and fix this situation. If I want things to get better, I have to figure out how to force myself out of this bed and start doing the little things every day that you know you need to do, but you don't feel like doing. And that's how all of this began. And it's been 16 years of simply putting one foot in front of the other and doing the next thing that I didn't feel like doing. that has led to everything that you see now, whether it's the podcast or the books that I write or the impact that I make online with people.
Mel, what do you think the Mel that's lying 15 years ago in bed looking at the ceiling thinking, how are we going to get out of this, would make of the Mel that's sitting here now with all of this extraordinary...
I don't think that I could have ever even imagined something as extraordinary to happen. And here's the big message. I don't think you realize what you're capable of. And the mistake that you make is probably the same mistake I was making. You are waiting to feel ready. You are waiting to feel motivated. You're waiting to feel like you have it perfect. You're waiting for the right time. And I'm here to tell you, all of that waiting is what's ruining your life. Motivation is complete garbage. Complete and utter rubbish, as you would say, because it is never there when you need it. I mean, if motivation were easy, we'd all have $1 million and six-pack abs. We'd all be living our dream life. The secret to life, honest to goodness, is making yourself do the things you don't feel like doing. And it was during this time that I developed this little motivation hack that I call the 5-second rule. So in the States, I don't know if you have it here, but if you drop food on the floor and pick it up in 5 seconds, safe to eat.
It's fine.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Well, if you have an idea and you think about it for longer than 5 seconds, your mind contaminates your desire to do it.
Because you start talking yourself out of it.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And there's all these fancy words for this that psychologists have, but I just like to speak about it in a way that anybody can understand.
Sure.
So the hack that I had was I just was inspired by this rocket launch, and I started counting backwards every morning. I'd be lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking about all my problems, rotting away like a human pot roast. And then I would just start counting backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I would get out of bed. And I called this technique the 5-second rule. You got to move in 5 seconds or you will literally talk yourself out of it, as you said. And I use this little countdown thing, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, to push myself every day through the anxiety, the depression, the excuses. Because the truth is, one of the beautiful things about life today is you could go to ChatGPT, if that's what I always say it wrong because of dyslexia. You could put in, I want to know how to do X, Y, Z. Tell me what to do 15 minutes a day for 30 days. It'll spit out the best plan. It'll work. The problem will be you. Because then you're going to be like, oh, is that going to work for me? And it's always you against you. And so that's how things began 16 years ago. I just wanted to get out of bed. I just wanted to get the kids on the bus. I just wanted to start paying my bills. I just wanted to stop screaming at my husband. And I think we all know what we need to do, but we're waiting to feel ready to do it. And that's the trap.
But I think also, Mel, what you do so brilliantly is you make it so simple and so bite-sized. You don't kind of cloud it with more kind of sophisticated words, and you don't make it difficult.
Life is like, difficult enough.
It's like when you talk about your phone. I made the switch last night. I put an alarm clock by my bed instead of the phone because the phone is a big thing.
Well, tell everybody what the thing is about.
So
the phone.
the minute the alarm goes off, you pick up the phone and then you start scrolling.
Yes.
And all of a sudden you're horizontal and instantaneously, there are thousands of people in your room with you, telling you, feeding you information, the world's problems are on your shoulders.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, you've wasted another 20 minutes and you're then anxious.
Of course. Well, yeah, because if you start your day and you're like this, right? And then you reach for your phone. You're not even vertical, and you've let the headlines and texts and emails from work get into your brain. This is one of the reasons why you're last on your list. This is one of the reasons why you wake up behind and exhausted. And so the simplicity is important because if it's not simple, you won't be able to do it.
Yes.
That's what you do. The power of this let them theory.
Yeah.
It's so simple, anybody can use it.
Yeah.
Can you explain, because it's a fascinating, when you hear you talk about it as well, can you explain what you mean by let them?
Sure. So the let them theory is a mindset tool that shows you, like that, what's in your control and what's not in your control. And it's so simple to use. Literally any moment you feel stressed out, worried, annoyed, frustrated, upset, hurt in life, you just say, let them. That's it. That's it. You don't even need to buy the book. That's it. And
I'm not sure your publishers are thinking
that. Here's the thing. I want people to use it.
Yeah.
That's why I care so much about this, because we live in a moment in time where there's so much out of your control, whether you're worried about AI or you're worried about the headlines or you're worried about somebody in your life or you're worried about your job or you're stressed out about your kids. There is a better way to go through life, because all that stuff out there, yes, it's real. Yes, it's important, but it doesn't and shouldn't impact you in here to the extent that it does. And when you learn, as Viktor Frankl in Man's Search for Meaning, how to see what's out there as beyond your control, but take control by managing your response to it, you gain control of your life. You will never be able to control the amount of traffic and construction in London. Let them. Let them. You can't control how long the queue is in line. Let them.
Yeah.
You can't control the challenging people in your family. In fact, the reason why we have families is because it teaches us how to love people we hate at times. You got to let people be who they are and who they're not. Because the one thing in life you can't control is another person. What they think, what they do, what they believe, how they act. When they heal, if they ever heal, if they get... let them be who they are. Because that's not where your power is. And that's why you're so stressed out, because you're managing everybody else. Let them be who they are. Let them say what they say. Let them think what they think. Now, let's take our power back. Let me is part 2. Let me remind myself there's 3 things in life I can control. I control what I think about this. I control what I do and don't do. I control how I respond to my feelings. And what this taught me is for the first 54 years of my life, I was living it in reverse. I was giving all my time and energy to managing everybody else. I put more weight into other people's opinions. I was navigating my day at work based on my boss's mood. There's an easier way. Let them. Stop managing everybody else and take the power back. And what you'll recognize is you have no idea how often you allow the world to stress you out. And that's why you're tired. That's why you have no energy. When you protect your time and energy from all this meaningless stuff and from things you can't control, you get your time and energy back. It's crazy simple.
It is simple, and hearing you say it is really compelling and very simple.
Brilliant.
Thrilled that you're sticking around, because you're going to be taking some phone calls from our viewers, aren't you?
Oh, great.
To offer them some help as well, because I think that's going to be really pertinent.
Yeah, for sure. Mel's new book, The Let Them Theory, is out now. Thank you, Mel. Look forward to that. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.
Well, we noticed that he wasn't responding in the way that Roman, our eldest, did, so we had something to compare it to. He just wasn't responding, was he? He'd walk in a room and say his name, he wouldn't automatically turn around and look at you. There was just a little sign.
You thought he was deaf, didn't you?
Yeah, well, actually, the first doctor we went to see said he might be deaf. I mean, that's kind of what happens sometimes with the diagnosis of autism, because they're not responding, so but he was fine.
Sent to a behavioural psychologist.
Yes.
Correct. And the news, when you were told that he could be autistic, it was the way in which you were told that you thought was brutal.
Well, I mean, it was pretty direct. I mean, I like to know what's going on anyway, but it was a shock. And also, back then, we didn't really know what it meant. It wasn't talked about as much as it is now. And the only reference we had was sort of Rain Man, the movie. I mean, it really was that basic and understanding.
I know what you're getting. It's the language.
It was
because
I'm afraid to
I'm
tell
afraid
you.
to tell you your son is autistic. Now, looking back, actually, would I change anything? We've discussed this. No, because they've got this extraordinary amount of gifts that we need to sort of, exploit in the sense of they can offer a way of viewing the world we live in that we cannot actually do. It's quite incredible.
We were really lucky because Tino statemented, and you're supposed to be able to choose your first choice is what you get, which didn't actually happen with his primary school. But we got lucky because we did end up in a school. Their head of special education needs, Karen, was unbelievable, so we really looked out with her. She got it. She understands the individuality of all children, especially children with needs. But when you go into secondary school, it's a bigger animal. Yeah. 1,500
average from a tiny space, and then they're suddenly into this almost like a stadium. It feels to them.
And it's very difficult for the schools because they need the resources to be able to attend to the needs of children who might need something else, whether it's care in the playground or perhaps protection from bullying or something like that. It does make it very difficult because we've discussed so many times on here, autism is a very wide sliding scale.
Yeah, and he's considered high functioning. So for us, in a way, we don't want to send him to a school for autistic children as such, because, for example, he spent a week at a school like that, really good school, Anna Kennedy School, and he had to be in a year above because he's too high functioning for an autistic school. Yeah. He's too autistic.
Gosh, so you're really right in the
fall down that gap.
Yeah.
And that's what you'll find with many parents with autistic children, too high functioning for specialists, not high functioning enough for mainstream school.
So what do you do? What have you found? What's the reality of this?
Well, we've been to see a lot of schools, and it's been a little bit depressing, really, hasn't it? We've been down all the right avenues. We've been to see all the schools in our borough, etc., etc. And some of the provisions for autistic children, it's just been hellish, really, and very little understanding of what they need.
Because the government will always push for inclusion, undoubtedly. They always will. The problem is the structure is not there. So you throw a child on the spectrum into a school with a mainstream education that we've all experienced, and they don't understand it. You know, they have difficulties understanding abstract concepts. So you need to adapt to them, not go, oh, you know, you need to learn geography and algebra and whatever. I mean, don't get me wrong, each will have an individual gift but you need to focus in on that, not just say, you need to do it our way. And that's the problem. So the schools
that's the trouble, isn't it? Because society likes children to be mainstream because
the grades, Philip, the grades.
And I was going to say, Ofcom want the schools to perform. They have targets to hit.
It's true, but
Ofsted.
Yeah, you see that's the one we work to.
Something worry about.
But you know, school life is supposed to reflect sort of the bigger world when they go out of it. I mean, the diagnosis of autism is rising, which means there's more autistic people in society, and the schools should be integrating people and be more awareness about, you know, how these children are and what they'll be as adults.
But as we know, and we've had teachers on here that will say, time is stretched, they don't, with the classes they have at the moment.
And I do have to emphasise, it's not the teacher's fault, it's not the school's fault. These guys are trying desperately hard to incorporate the children. They haven't got the funding, guys. They haven't got the funding. They need the resources. And there's so much government waste. We all know that they could get the resources, but it's priorities, and they're not prioritised, unfortunately.
And the reason you're doing this, and the reason you want to talk about this, is because, A, you have a platform sitting here, and B, there are hundreds of parents who are in the same situation.
We went to the autism show last year, and the amount of parents that were coming up to us.
The queue of people.
15 schools they'd gone to, 15 different schools, explored different boroughs, desperate, saying, you know, why can't our children be included?
You considered home ed?
Yeah, we did, and the only reason I didn't go for it is because I want him to be social. I know his natural feel for that is that he doesn't really want to be social with anybody, but I do want him to be with other children.
That's another fundamental problem with home education. The local authority will take away the child's statement and therefore the money. So now the parent has got the pressure of home educating and the financial pressure of home educating. It's insane.
You're also very fortunate in the fact that you're not together anymore, but you still work together as a partnership when it comes to
We're passionate about being parents. We have complete solidarity on parenting. I mean, occasionally we've had a difference of opinion, but mainly we're fighting for Tino, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Parents should always get rid of their differences for their children. Because it's all ego and nonsense. So you should always fight hard. And I'm, you know, like Mel said, we're so passionate about it. And I honestly believe that, you know, for a society to call itself civilised, you have to show that you can take care of the most vulnerable in that society. If you can't, don't bother calling yourself a civilised society. Don't bother. And we're failing here. Because it's not just about autistic children. We're talking about recently cuts to disabled individuals, dyslexic children, you know, other sensory needs that children have. It's a vast area that needs to be funded.
Well, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Very much
It's lovely to see you both.
Nice to see you both. Thank you.
For more of the same, just click here.
Probably having to put my leg on every day, or like waking up and having to use crutches just to go to the bathroom or into kitchen. I think that's probably what I find hardest.
But your average police department, despite that in the United States, is something like 5 officers.
Right, yeah.
And you know, you might live in Beckenham in South London. Well, Beckenham would have a separate police department to Croydon Police Department.
Of course.
They'd have different rules of engagement. They will have different firearms. They'll have different training. They'll have different budgets. You know, and so to try and to lump everything into one thing, you know, there are undoubtedly police departments that cover, you know, very poor areas where the officers that are recruited aren't well paid, aren't particularly well trained, aren't particularly well equipped. So it's a totally different thing to the United Kingdom.
And it's a difficult one, and we could...
And different, of course, sorry to interrupt, different, of course, to, say, Spain or France or Germany. And I think if you're going to equate arming the British police, you're better off looking at the European example, because do controversies happen in France? Well, of course they do.
Of course.
But not to the same degree
as what they're happening
as we're seeing in the United States.
I mean, with this country, I mean, the Met Police, for example, there's 31,000 or so officers in the Met at the moment, and 2,100 are armed, so looking at just under 10%. Is that not sufficient to protect London? I mean, I was an ex-police officer, as you know, and I wouldn't want to have carried a gun.
And that's fine. You know, I mean, you know, the reality is that if you couldn't arm the police overnight. A, it would take years. B, you've got officers such as yourself who joined with no expectation to carry a firearm, and you couldn't then expect them to carry a firearm. You know, when I joined D11, as it was then, now SCO 19, in 1983, I joined as an instructor, and there were 40 of us training 4,800 officers to carry firearms. Here we are in 2016, and we're training 2,000 officers, and there are 100 instructors. So the smaller amount are better trained. You know, so it's a different thing. So I know what the standard was like in 1983, and I know what the standard would be like, you know, if we had to train 30,000 officers. So, but that said, from a moral standpoint, and I always cite, you know, perhaps wrongly, I always cite the Lee Rigby incident. You know, it's a terrible, terrible, tragic incident. And it took the armed response vehicles, I think, 15 minutes to get there. Now, what that meant was that the ordinary local bobbies that responded to that situation for 15 minutes basically had to stand by, through no fault of their own, and watch the public do their job for them. Now, that's the other end of the argument. Is that acceptable?
There is very, very strong arguments here. And, you know, we've had a little look at your book. This is your book, Lethal Force, My Life as the Met's Most Controversial Marksman. You say about the training, you know what it's like to carry that gun. You know what it's like to shoot someone and have to shoot someone as part of your job. You've shot 5 people in your span as part of that in 25 years. 3 of them died. That first one that died as a result of you shooting them, that's where that training comes in, because that, I mean, mentally, that must take its toll on you, Tone.
I'm not wishing to sound callous, but really, if you shoot someone, you shoot someone. You know, it's out of your control whether or not they die. And it's if you take the decision to shoot someone, then you're taking on board the fact that you may kill them. The first person I shot, he was stabbing a little girl, and I shot him at virtually point-blank range in the head because it's all I could see, because he was using the little girl as a shield. The bullet penetrated his skull and into his brain, and he survived. Now, you know, so in all intents and purposes, he should have died, but he didn't. You know, the human being can take a massive amount of physical. Look at the people that have come back from Afghanistan and Iraq with limbs missing, and you know, the human being is a very strong creature. So, in terms of how, you know, dealing with it, if you've pulled the trigger on another human being, you've done so with the understanding that they may die as a result of your actions.
And that's all part of your training. And a lot of what the book focuses on is the case of Azelle Rodney, where you were charged and faced a murder trial 9-10 years after his death, wasn't it?
10 years after, yeah.
And the impact of that you touch upon a lot in the book. Unfortunately, we're not going to have a lot more time to go into that with you now, but
people have to know about this weather, Tone. The weather, it's a big deal on this show. You know, it's very important these days. But it's all available in the book. The book
came out
is
yesterday.
Out now. It is out now. Tony, it's a pleasure to speak to you, and your story is absolutely incredible. So thank you for joining us this morning, and I look forward to having a good read of it.
It's a great read.
Hello, YouTube. For more of the same, just click here, and don't forget you can subscribe for even more of these amazing videos exclusive to our channel.
Probably having to put my leg on every day, or like waking up and having to use crutches just to go to the bathroom or into the kitchen. I think that's probably what I find hardest, because it's what's changed most, not being able to just jump out of bed and get on with day.
Should we be allowed to choose the sex of our children simply because we have a preference? Well, our next guest, Michelle Priestley, believes we should. And Michelle, welcome to you.
Hi.
So we'll start off this saying you've got 5 boys. Each time you felt disappointed that you were carrying another boy. Why?
Yeah, I think initially when you decide to have a family, I thought, oh yeah, it'd be quite nice to have a little girl, because I think sometimes people do have a preference. Most people don't, but some people think, oh yeah, it would be nice. So when I found out that our first one was a boy, I was a little bit disappointed, but obviously very excited to be having a baby. So yeah. I did want girls, but when obviously the baby comes along, you're just grateful to have, you know, a happy, healthy baby. So when they arrive, no, I wouldn't change a single thing, no.
So, but you think you should be allowed to if you wanted to?
I think, yeah, I do think gender selection should be legalised here. It's available in other countries. If you go and have IVF, for example, in America, they say to you, providing the embryos are fertilised, do you want a boy or do you want a girl or do you want a surprise? And I think, you know, we have the science out there available to us, so why shouldn't we make that choice?
So what you're saying is that you should be allowed gender selection, but you're going to have to be rich to do it.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, it's like most things, really. I mean, it's quite extreme, and I think really there's very few people that would go to those extremes. I mean, most people are happy to have a healthy child, or they already have one of each, or they don't have a preference.
Online, a lot of people comment about you. What sort of things have they said?
To be honest, I mean, I spoke about this about 6 years ago, and I've had a lot of mixed reviews. A lot of people have said, you know, you're very lucky to have 5 healthy boys, and I am. I'm really lucky to have 5 healthy boys. But I also had a lot of people that contacted me and said, you know, I feel so pleased because I'm so ashamed. I couldn't even tell my husband when I had my, I don't know, 3rd daughter or 4th son. I was so disappointed. And you've spoken about it and said that there is such thing as gender disappointment. I wouldn't change anything now. The dynamics of my family are, you know, are perfect.
How do the boys feel about it? Because when they were in your tummy, you were wishing that they were someone else.
To be honest, we don't really talk about it in any great detail. I mean, they're, you know, we're a really loving family. You know, they've got a mum and dad that really love them. And now I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't want it any other way, you know, because I'm obviously meant to be a mum of 5 boys, and that's what's happened. But I just still think that, you know, the medicine is out there available to you. Why shouldn't you be able to choose?
But many people say that is the thin end of the wedge, that if you can pick the gender, then it's a short step to picking the hair colour and the eye colour, and no, there's a predisposition here to diabetes, so no, let's not use that embryo, let's use... So then the selection becomes much more defined and scary.
Yeah, I mean, I think here we're just talking about whether you have a boy or a girl, and the fact that it is available in other countries means that, you know, we should really probably be allowed to have it here, but our country have decided that that's not the case.
What does your husband think?
Well, he's actually been married before, and he does have a daughter. I've got a lovely stepdaughter and a stepson, and he wasn't bothered at all. He just, you know, he kind of went along, had lots of babies for me, really. But no, he obviously wanted me to... You know, when you love someone, you want them to be happy, don't you, and achieve what their goal is. But no, he's happy. He's a firefighter and surrounded by men all day. So yeah, it's all good for him.
Assuming the quote is correct from Chrissy, which was in People magazine, she said, "I've made this decision. Not only am I having a girl, but I picked the girl from her little embryo. I picked her and was like, let's put in the girl." It does sound very casual, doesn't it?
It does sound casual, but then that was their preference. If they're a loving couple and they're happy and they had that option of making that choice, what's wrong with that?
For you, Mike, you've been on the edge of this your entire life, haven't you? I mean, started singing at the age of 11, you won a talent competition, got signed between the ages of 15 and 18, but it never quite happened for you. It must have been so frustrating.
For sure. For sure, but, you know, you have to keep going.
Mike, talk us through how you eventually came to be singing as a busker on the subway. What was it that brought you to that moment, and how you've engaged with the public? Because we've had so many messages already, and someone's just tweeted in saying, I wonder how many people have forgotten to get on the subway and get on their trains because they've been listening to you.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, like I said, a friend of mine was, he's deceased now, but he was already playing in the subway. I was working for the Department of Parks. And he asked me how much I make a day. He said, if you come with me just one day, you'll quit your job. And that's what happened.
And so you've been singing on the subway for many, many years, but it's not been easy for you. You've had some tough times down there. You've had money stolen, you've been threatened, you've even been stabbed. What makes you still keep going back?
What happens is, no matter what goes on, you still have to pay your bills. So, plus, you know, you bring joy to people, so there's nothing was gonna stop me. In other words, you always keep your dream alive.
You're going to sing a little bit for us. Is that right, Mike? Will you give us a little bit of Change Is Gonna Come?
For sure.
Yeah, go for it.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, just like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good because you feel it. It's so emotional when you sing.
Lots of people want to buy your records. They want to hear you play. Have you got yourself a record deal yet? Has anybody signed you or snapped you up?
Nobody signed me yet, but I would like to support. We did Unchained Melody. It's on iTunes. You know, everybody can purchase it to support Mike Young.
Yes, I think there'll be a lot of supporters of Mike Young. But how amazing! So
and
you
we're
actually
gonna do
go on.
Unchained Melody. I mean, we did Unchained Melody. We're gonna do Change Is Gonna Come. It should be released. We might have a lady president. There's a new year coming in.
Yeah.
So a change is definitely going to come.
It definitely is going to come. It's really, really lovely to meet you and talk to you. And we just wish you the best of luck. And I hope that this is the break that you've been looking for all these years, because you certainly deserve it.
For sure. Well, you have to know everything is up to God.
Oh.
So, you know, as long as I wake up in the morning and I can sing, hey, I don't ask for too much.
And you've still got that million-watt smile as well, Mike. Don't lose that, because that's just sensational too. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
What time is it over there now, Mike?
It's almost 6. It's like 5:45.
And you sound like that at
and
that time of the morning.
Always sounding good. Mike Young never sounds bad. There you go, Mike. You need to get yourself down to the subway soon. I'm sure you've got a shift coming. Great to see you.
See you. Bye, Mike. Bye. If you enjoyed that, there's more of the same right here. And make sure you subscribe so that you never miss the best moments from this morning.
Because our next guest burst onto the comedy scene in 2009 and quickly became a household name with her beloved sitcom Miranda.
But for the last decade, she has taken herself out of the spotlight following a private health battle.
But it's not all doom and gloom, no, it's not. As the star announced, she's recently married the love of her life at the age of 51.
And newlywed is with us now. Congratulations!
Oh, congratulations. So happy for you.
I can do all that.
You put a ring on it?
Yeah.
No, you can't do that now because you're not single.
Oh, yeah.
You're not a single lady.
Okay, fine.
But you can go like that.
It's quite fun. No one really cares, but you just go.
You do care. Congratulations.
Oh, look at you holding my book up.
Look at
Thanks.
it.
Yeah.
That's the money shot.
It's like jazz hand moment with it, isn't it? I like that. Thanks.
How did it feel when you actually saw it for the first time? It was like, oh my gosh.
Quite emotional, actually.
Really?
Well, just because the story is, you know, a decade of not all fun.
Yeah.
So it was like there was my difficult time in a book as well, and just to have done the research for it. So, yeah, I had a little weep.
When did you decide to put pen to paper about the last decade?
Well, I started researching for myself to start with when I didn't get a diagnosis and felt rubbish and couldn't work anymore. I collapsed on the floor with fatigue and just wasn't getting any answers. So I thought, OK, I need to research and go, there's this whole wellbeing industry out there. What is actually true? What is science? What could actually help me feel
Did you find the
better?
answers?
I feel like I found the answers, not necessarily to recovery from disease. I'm not saying that, gosh, no, but to live with chronic illness. And I just needed to know how to do the next 10 minutes, basically.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't go, I couldn't do an ice plunge. I couldn't go to a chalet break in Norway and have hashtag self-care weekend. So I was like, what are the treasures? What are the keys? And so once I researched that for myself, I felt like I can't not share this.
Yeah.
So I did in my book, What's Out Now.
So how long did it take to write it, and when did you?
Well, years, really. The research took a good 6-7 years. And then when I got my diagnosis a few years ago, I then sort of amended my story a bit. And then I met my now husband and thought, I've got to put a little bit of the love story in it. So it just sort of took a while.
Yeah.
So just let's go back a little bit and remind me of the diagnosis, because, I mean, it was probably about the age of 15 when you felt like something infected you.
Yeah. I got a bug that felt like flu when I was about 14, 15, when I lived in America. My father was working out there. And then since then, I just never felt well. I joined the dots now, but I never felt well since I was about 15. I had really weird neurological symptoms. I felt dizzy, sort of double vision, just loads of really weird things. Just felt like I had flu all the time. Yeah. And then over a lifetime, when we all experience difficulties and then we get ill, even a cold, my immune system just couldn't cope with it. I was just more and more and more run down. And each day was like wading through treacle. So eventually I found out that it would have been Lyme disease that I got then, but it was just not an acute version of it. And so it was reactivated constantly in the body. Any other virus I got just accumulated. My immune system was disordered. So you then end up with a kind of ME picture, a fatigue-based condition.
Which is hard enough when you are just on a day-to-day basis. But when suddenly you write the sitcom and you hit gold and you're working every day, the God sends, that must have been so debilitating, because like you've got to get out of bed every day and do it, right? And then it's not just filming it, you've got to write it, then they've got a pressure to programming it, and then all the other opportunities come when it's a success.
Yeah, by then, I mean, sort of sadly in a way, I kind of got used to getting up, feeling rough and just going, just got to keep going, because no one was saying what was wrong or how to manage it. So I was used to being really strong and brave and just keeping it to myself and keeping going. But the sadness for me was I looking back, I didn't really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like I'd often be in rehearsals and I'd look at a glass of water and think, I can't find the energy to get my arm to lift. That's what fatigue is like, which I share not for sort of self-pity or woe is me at all, but just for all the millions, sadly, living with fatigue-based conditions. Because we all get tired, right? So when you say fatigue, you think, no, it's literally I don't know how to move. So I felt sad couldn't really enjoy it. But I managed it all right.
Did you talk about it to anybody?
Not
Did your
really.
friends and family know?
No, because when you're sort of just keeping on, which I think so many of us do with long-term conditions, whether that's a difficult relationship, whether it's whatever, you feel like you get into that, I suppose, quite English way of I mustn't keep complaining, or you don't know how to ask for help as well, because you don't know what you're asking for help for.
Yeah.
And if you say to someone, I don't feel like I can pick up my glass, you think you're going to sound like a diva, or they're going to like, you what? Just have a drink, love.
Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it?
So you get stuck,
Because the dial has shifted so much with so many things in the last 10, 15 years, you know, on the right side of progress. You don't feel like this is particularly talked about even now. You know, this is a very valuable book in many ways.
Oh, thanks.
Just to have the conversation, because there must be so many people out there.
Yeah, and also I think it applies. I mean, obviously what I went through was a chronic illness, but I think it applies. I've had loads of friends saying to me, gosh, this really resonates. There's little things like how often we say sorry, and how it's all these little things, micro things that are exhausting, or just what vulnerability actually is. I thought I was quite good at vulnerable because, you know, I was a silly creative and kind of happy to fart in public, whatever. Isn't that being vulnerable? Turns out that's part of me, but I was terrible at asking for help.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how to do it. I was like brought up with you're independent and strong, you do it yourself, you want a job done, get it done yourself, you know, all that sort of thing. So learning to be really fragile and go, oh, that is part of what being a human is. Also, I still think we're not brilliant at that.
No.
Yeah.
Also, who to ask as well, right?
Who to ask, who's your trusted people, how many... I was then a terrible oversharer. I'd then tell everyone, go, no, that's not right. So it took a lot of... So that's sort of what the book is, was how to be more honestly myself. So I can be the comedian and the silly one and the oversharer and the windbreaker.
Yeah.
But now I can also be vulnerable and honest and have a little weep and go, actually, do you know, I'm just a really highly sensitive person. I need this much sleep. I don't like socialising very often. This is me.
Yeah.
And it feels amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy for you, honestly. And the fact that you are so vulnerable in the book is going to help so many people. But that is thanks to Selena Gomez, isn't it, a little bit? The fact that she shared...
Well, so it's mainly about me.
It's her to thank, though, isn't it?
Well, I went through a moment of going, I don't think I can put that, I just don't feel strong enough to be vulnerable to put that out there. Does anyone really want this? But is it going to help? I had a real wobble. Watched Selena's documentary, and she's been through so much, and obviously a fame at such a young age and all her health problems. And her documentary, I was just like, I was weeping going, I feel heard. So if one person can read it and go, I've felt fatigued since I was 15 too, then...
And before we let you go, you're watching Strictly. How's she doing, Sarah?
Oh my God, I'm obsessed, my friend.
I'm loving all the advice you're giving her.
Yeah, I'm head choreographer. Vito has given in and realises that he needs to listen to me. So I'm head choreographer.
You do a Monday morning routine.
I'm also not doing a book tour. I'm campaign trail. Come on, Hadders.
Come on, Hadders.
She actually gave you some advice for being on this morning. So here's Sarah with a little bit of advice. Here you go.
Hi, Miranda. We want to thank you so much for all your advice and all your tips.
However, now you're on this morning, and we've just done it now, and I'm just going to give you this really heartfelt advice. Yeah. Just be yourself.
Because you are amazing.
Be yourself.
Be yourself, and we love you.
Be yourself.
Be yourself,
Very,
Miranda.
I mean, they ran that home, didn't they? I think they got stuck on be yourself. Yeah, well, that's what the book is. It's how to honestly be yourself.
Well, there is the book. I haven't been entirely honest with you. But what I want to know is, what have you done today to make you feel proud?
Loving your work.
You wrote a book.
Yeah, I done a book.
It's quite a lot.
And sat here and chatted to you, which is a great privilege.
Thanks, Miranda.
Now, you are staying for the phone-in, aren't you, Miranda?
Well, I'm staying for anything you want.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.
Back now then, we've all heard of Miss Universe, of course, Miss World, Miss Great Britain, but this year there's a new beauty pageant that's making the headlines.
The first of its kind, Miss Bariatric Beauty, was created to celebrate women who've had weight loss surgery.
Yeah, after being inspired to start the pageant following her own gastric sleeve surgery, Senna Michelle Jushaw is joining us on the sofa.
And we're also going to be speaking to three of the amazing contestants who took part, Iona, Lizzie and Rihanna.
So this is how they looked before they lost a staggering 30 stone between them. Let's see them now. Come on in.
Yes, with you guys. How are you? Good morning. Good morning.
I think you might need to budge up a little bit to get all the girls on with their amazing outfits. Welcome. I think you all arrived as I arrived this morning, didn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't. It's funny because we turned up, we're not sure who's coming in, but to have so much glamour on the sofa is a real treat.
I know, all before 11 o'clock.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So look, we're joined now by Iona Thomas, who lost 10.5 stone since her gastric bypass last year. Lizzie Penman-Green, who lost 11 stone after having a gastric sleeve. And Rihanna Berry, who has dropped 8 stone after getting a gastric sleeve. Really wonderful to meet you all. Thank you all for coming and joining us today.
Yes, thank you so much. And first of all, let's say, not with the weight, but just you all look as though you exude so much confidence and glamour now. Well done, ladies. So, Senna, you started this this pageant. Why did you do it?
So, I had weight loss surgery in June 2021.
Yep.
Really unconfident, you know. There was times before that I didn't want to leave the house with my children because I just felt like people would look at me and judge me. I've lost 8.5 stone now, which is incredible. And last year I got approached by the Miss Great Britain Surrey regional director. And she said, I'd really like you to come and have a go. And I thought, you know what, why not? Let's just jump at new opportunities. And I absolutely just fell in love with pageantry and the values that Miss Great Britain has. So after that, you know, I just felt so empowered by the feeling, kind of the metaphor of putting yourself out there on stage, that I thought, I want to share this feeling. How can I do that? So I created the pageant to kind of encourage girls to just beat their fears and just put themselves out there and go for it. And it's kind of not just about, you know, beauty. I mean, they all look stunning, but it's not just about the beauty. It's about getting that confidence and saying yes to new opportunities following this journey, because I just think that's really important. So.
What operation did you have and how did you feel beforehand?
So I had a vertical sleeve gastrectomy.
Right.
So I had 80% of my stomach removed. Beforehand, like I say, I was really unconfident. I did have postpartum depression after my first baby, and I just didn't want to leave the house. You know, I stayed in dark clothes. I just didn't really feel like I was living. I was just existing in this body. So since having it, my life has changed so much. I've gained confidence in myself. You know, I go out, I'm happy to, just go out and try new clothes. It's just such an incredible experience. And the opportunities it's given me since gaining confidence, I've kind of changed career paths a little bit because I didn't feel like I could interview for positions before. And now I have the confidence to sit there and say, this is me. Amazing.
It's amazing. Ona, let's talk about you, because when you hear about a competition like this, would you ever have entered a beauty competition?
Absolutely not. That's the self-esteem was not there. The confidence was not there. I've sort of suffered with my weight for such a long time. I just thought, oh, this is life now. Like, I'm not gonna go out and experience life. And it was only when I did have the gastric bypass and then noticed that things were changing and quite rapidly that I was like, oh, actually, I like this. I like life. I like getting out there. I like it all, and I want to do it.
You like being seen. You like being noticed.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I really do. And I feel like, whereas before, even though I was bigger, I would try and take up as little space as possible. Whereas now, I'm not so big, but I'm just like, well, I'll fill the room. I don't mind. Like, yeah, I'm happy to.
You've got 2 little boys.
Yeah.
You can run around after, because that was one of the things that you were like, actually, I don't
It was
feel
my
fit
catalyst.
enough.
Yeah,
Right.
my catalyst for surgery was the boys. So I just had my second son, and he was 2 months old, and I just felt like I couldn't do the nights. Like, it was down to my husband. Like, I didn't have the energy. I was just a blob. I couldn't move, and I just thought I need to do something now because I want to give my children the best life. And although it is for me, it was originally for them, and it's just that out of that it's ended up.
Lizzie, congratulations.
Hello.
You were crowned Miss Bariatric
I was.
Surgery. It's amazing. I can't, looking at all of you and watching these pictures pop up, it's incredible because, of course, you're there, but it's a different person that we're looking at now. What's your journey been like?
My journey has been really, really good. It's been a really good journey. Through going through the pageant, when people say it changed my life, I always think, no, it doesn't really. But actually, it did change my life.
Look, if you just look forward, if you look towards camera 2 there.
It's a different person.
I mean, that's...
I look like I ate myself.
You can say that, Lizzie, because it's your picture. You look like somebody who was obviously having a good time that day, but the difference now, you can see it in your eyes.
So before I was always confident. Even when I was big, I was confident. But it wasn't a real confidence. This is genuine confidence. Like, I love myself. I actually really love who I am. My body carries around the vessel for my soul, and my soul is so special. So why wouldn't I want the best vessel for my soul?
It's so interesting, actually, Rihanna, how you can go and enter the competition, and congratulations.
Thank you.
And then it's literally like a springboard that takes you on the next stage of your life, and all these amazing opportunities open up, both personally and professionally.
Yeah, so I think after having my surgery, I got a lot of confidence back. I was able to get a promotion at work. I'm just able to do things I never thought I would. Like, I would have never entered a pageant ever. And then suddenly, I've first runner-up, and, it was the most amazing experience. And just being able to take part and feel so empowered and to know that actually I do have worth, and I think that was a big thing to me.
Yeah.
Senna, listening to all of you talk about the increased confidence that you got, of course, there is a question about beauty pageants in themselves actually objectifying women who are going into beauty pageants to be considered. And I know it wasn't just about being beautiful, but that is a big part of it. There is sort of a slight conflict because all of you have felt objectified in the past when you were big.
Yeah, and I totally get that. I think pageantry in itself is definitely evolving. It's not just about world peace and who's the prettiest woman anymore. It's not about that. And I think the girls have kind of realised that now from stepping into that world. And especially for Miss Bariatric, it was about celebrating what you've gained, not what you've lost.
Yeah.
And that was actually one of the scorings in their interviews that they did was, to mark them against how much this has actually changed their life and their journey as a whole. So, yeah, it's not about being conventionally pretty and beautiful. It's about the person and that beauty from within just being able to shine.
And there's actually like self-confidence classes you do too, right?
We did, yeah. So the day before, the girls all did a masterclass. That was actually, one of the sessions was held by the current reigning Miss Great Britain Surrey, which is Hayley Burton. And she has a platform called Confidence Crowd. So she came in and she did a session with the girls, and
it was
Incredible.
amazing. It was life-changing. I left that with more confidence than I knew how to carry. Like a little while, like 2 weeks before the pageant, I was going through a bit of a rough time and I didn't feel good and I didn't feel confident. And when I left there, I felt like the most confident person.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, there were so many tears.
You can just see it in all of you.
For
and
sure.
very excitingly, Rihanna, you've just got engaged as well. Congratulations.
Thank you. Look at her sparkler. God,
there you go.
lucky.
This is the moment. Oh, we got the ring. Go back to the big moment when your fiancé, who you've been with for a long time.
Yeah, I've been together for, it was our 8-year anniversary actually when he asked me, and I really wasn't expecting it at all. And yeah, I just feel very lucky.
Amazing.
So cool.
I'm sure he does as well, Rihanna, more importantly.
Thank
He'll be
you.
thrilled to bits. Congratulations to all of you.
Yeah,
and
very
thank you for coming in and sharing your stories with us, because it's really, really inspiring.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.
In September last year, we once again partnered with CALM, which is the suicide prevention charity, Campaign Against Living Miserably, to highlight the number of young lives lost to suicide.
As part of the Miss Birthdays campaign, thousands of balloons were floated in Westfield, London shopping centre, each one serving as a tragic reminder of a young person who had taken their own life.
In the last decade, 6,929 young lives have been lost to suicide in the UK. And as the work continues to raise awareness, today we're joined by parents Jenny and Jack Swift, whose 15-year-old daughter, Evelyn, is one of the many who never reached her next birthday.
Happy birthday, Evelyn, my beautiful girl. From the moment I first held you, my world changed forever.
Sad. Happy, sad.
You've brought sunshine into our lives with your kind heart and amazing hugs. That beaming smile that can light up any room, and your infectious laugh that always sets everyone else off. It hasn't always been easy, but you make us so proud every single day. You've brought so much joy and laughter into our lives, and I feel so proud to be your mum. Happy birthday, sweetheart.
It's such an incredible film, isn't it? So powerful,
Beautiful.
so emotive. To tell us more about Evelyn's story, we're joined now by her mum, Jenny, and her stepfather, Jack, alongside CALM's Wendy Robinson. Good morning to all of you. Thank you for coming in. Jenny, is such an extraordinary film to watch, so full of joy and love and laughter, which I guess is exactly how you remember her.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about what she was like growing up.
Evelyn was awesome, just an awesome human. She was happy, she was kind, she was bubbly, really intelligent. She loved primary school, she loved learning, she loved helping others, she loved baking. That was a real passion of hers.
And what kind of things did you enjoy doing together as a family?
We loved going out for walks. At home, she would build dens with her little brother, and she started baking with him and letting him lick the spoon, you know. I remember having pillow fights at home and, yeah, just doing lots of things together.
So I wonder, Jack, when it was for such a bubbly, infectious, bright young girl, you started to notice things were changing.
It would have been around the time that she was about 11 years old, sort of the move to secondary school. It was quite a tricky time anyway in our family for a number of reasons. And, yeah, she found that kind of transition quite hard. And there was a few kind of, like, behavioural things that we just weren't kind of sure about. So Jenny took her to doctors to get sort of checked out and stuff. And, yeah, it was around about the time she was 11.
And what was the response from the doctor at that point, Jenny? Because obviously no one knows your daughter better than you do. So you've seen signs of changes.
Yeah.
What happened when you took her to the doctor?
I'd seen signs of kind of withdrawal and just kind of growing more insular. And I took her to the GP and they said to me in front of her that there's no point referring her to CAMHS because they wouldn't see her unless she was suicidal.
Gosh. And how did that sit with you?
Well, we went away without any support at that point and it was really, really difficult. Evelyn felt like she didn't deserve the help at that point. And as a parent, that's really hard when you've asked for help and there wasn't that.
We did reach out to the GP, but we didn't get any response. She was clearly having issues with her body image as well, wasn't she?
Yeah.
How did that manifest itself?
In various ways. I mean, I remember a couple of occasions where she wasn't very happy in her own skin, and it was really difficult to watch. It was difficult to watch, and we as parents didn't. I think it's fair to say didn't sort of like know quite how to deal with that all the time, and like we learnt along the way, but initially it was really, really difficult.
In terms of how it manifested, I would say that we noticed that she wasn't eating her lunch at school, like she'd bring her lunchbox home. And initially, you know, we thought she's having breakfast at home, she's having a dinner, we'd sit around the dinner table as a family. So we weren't overly concerned and thought, you know, peer pressure, it's that age. She started wearing baggier clothes because she wanted to hide her body.
Right.
It was those kinds of things.
And so then how did it spiral from there? And how did you then go back and ask for more help? Because you're absolutely right. As parents, we don't know how to deal with situations like that. You need help from somebody to help you be able to handle it.
Yeah. So I became more concerned about Evelyn's behaviour and her withdrawal. And I searched her room, actually, and I felt like I was betraying her trust, but I was so concerned.
You understand.
And I found a note that she'd written that showed her intention to end her own life, which was a huge shock for me to find. But it led to a discussion with Evelyn about having dark thoughts, and I took her back to the GP. We got her some support at that point. But at that point, I didn't use the word suicide. I couldn't bring myself to use that word for some reason. And I know now that that was not the best way to have that conversation, but it was a starting point with what I knew at the time.
Yeah. And so then what did you do next? How old was Evelyn at this point?
13.
About 13, I would say, yeah.
And so then how did you try and put action into motion to improve the situation? And did it improve?
I think shortly after I'd taken her to the GP at that point, we went into lockdown for COVID. So I took her to the GP in maybe the February time, and we went into lockdown in March. So it was really, really tricky. And you said it earlier, didn't you? It turbocharged her illness, I think, at that point.
I think there are so many people who found the pandemic so tough in so many ways, but if you were vulnerable already, it must have been really... Did she withdraw more?
Definitely.
I'd say so. I think there was no escape for her because we were around all the time, because we were all at home. So therefore, we could see how much she wasn't eating. Like, although we kind of knew already in certain ways, we sort of put a lot of that down to, general teenage anxiety around stuff like that. And but there was no escape for her, and then it built and built.
I think it was also, there was a lot of things online about exercising at home, and she felt the peer pressure. So when she was doing Zoom calls with, friends and things like that, if someone else had done exercise, she would then feel guilty if she hadn't exercised. And it was just this vicious cycle. And then she didn't have an outlet, to go out and see other people. So I think, a lot of young people struggled at that time.
So it got really bad, but things did improve, didn't it? She changed schools and you went on a family holiday, and all of you felt like there was some hope because she was talking about the future.
Yeah, I think there's a big bit in between where she was really, really unwell and she'd been in hospital for a long time. But when she came out of hospital, she was talking about the future. She wanted to be a mental health nurse. She would say that she didn't want other people to go through what she went through. and she was talking about sixth form. We'd got her a place. She'd got earned a place in a local sixth form to study health and social care. We were talking about a holiday to Italy, because when she'd been really, really unwell with her anorexia, we'd said this, this target in the future of we're going to go to Italy and we're going to eat pasta and pizza. And we just started talking about that again because she felt ready to take that step. So it seemed as though at times that we turned a corner.
Which all seemed like a positive step in the right direction. But there was a day when you were out, and I think you were doing gardening?
Yes. So she'd had a sleepover with a friend the night before, and she was absolutely shattered, basically.
Because they'd stayed up all night like teenagers.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. And so you'd gone out, and I was at home, and I was just kind of doing a few jobs, and I kept checking on Evelyn as per our sort of agreement with CAMS. We would still do 30-minute check-ins.
Right.
And I went to check on her, and she wasn't there. And
And what went through your mind at that point?
A lot of panic. Rang Jenny straight away. I then rang the police. While I was still on the phone to the 999 operator, the police... Because we live quite close to a police station. Policeman turned up. There's actually somebody who had visited our house before when Evelyn had been in a crisis. So he was like, "Oh, I know you guys." Like, yeah. We went out to look for her.
We knew that she would be struggling and why she had left the house.
Yeah.
And tragically, it was too late, of course. And she never came home. Wendy, it's listening to Jenny and Jack tell their story and so many things that they went through. You're nodding along because I'm sure you hear it over and over again with the parents who come to CAMS for help.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's deeply tragic, and we're so grateful to Jenny and Jack being involved with us in this way, because it's these stories that bring it to life for people, because I think we don't necessarily take young people and suicide as seriously as we might, or we don't put those two things together very much. But actually, when we've spoken to parents, they tell us that our young people are struggling more than they have done at any other time. So we wanted to be able to provide something practical, not just for parents, because I think it's a heavy weight to carry on your own, bringing up a young person, but any trusted adult to help them be able to be aware of how to have these conversations. As Jenny said, to be able to say the word suicide, it still sticks in people's throat. We're worried, I think, that if we say it, we put it into someone's head, that if they weren't thinking about it, it might trigger that, but actually the opposite is true. If you say it, it kind of bursts that bubble and somebody can start to genuinely share what's going on, because suicide thrives inside darkness and keeping it to yourself. So when you open up, it brings light into it.
So you've devised these calm care kits for parents and for adults and for anybody in this sort of scenario. Just explain what they are.
Yeah, so it's an online resource. It's the CARE stands for very specific things. So C is about learning to check in, to actually build in a regular conversation with a young person, probably before they get to that kind of crisis point, so the young person knows that you're somebody they can bring their general kind of issues with, or something more serious. A is about ask, and this is about ask directly about suicide, and we've created this kit to help people learn how to do that. And R is about remaining close, and it's also about removing any kind of harm from that young person. And E is about expert help. Because as Jenny and Jack did, they reached out to get help.
And got none.
And didn't get what they needed. And our experts need to learn this as well, to be able to speak about suicide, to take it seriously and to act appropriately. So really what we need is that every single This Morning viewer to get to the care kit on our website, to learn what to do. It helps you through early kind of conversations right through to what to do in a crisis, and to share that with everybody, because although we'd want government and services to do more, and we believe that they will eventually, but in the meantime there's so much more we can do as adults to have these conversations, to speak about suicide and actually to save lives.
The statistics are just so distressing. So yes, we all have to do something as best we can. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm sure it's really painful, but if it can help one person even.
It's lovely memory, having the memories, isn't it? And looking at the video, it's beautiful. And it's such a gift. But if
And
it
as-
helps someone else, that's what
As
we want to
Evelyn
do.
said, like, she didn't want anyone to go through it. So if we can help in any way, then we will.
Unquestionably you are, and you can see as well personally how important these care kits can be.
Yes.
So the value in them is enormous. Thank you for
Absolutely.
sharing your story and telling us about your gorgeous young girl. She was just amazing, clearly. And you can see it brimming through you still as well, which is really special. And Wendy, thank you for joining us as well.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
Now then, we started today's show by unveiling mental health charity Calm's latest campaign that highlights the tragic number of young people who have taken their own lives in the last decade.
One of those balloons in that display of 6,929 is for Amelia, who would have turned 20 at her next birthday. Tragically, she took her own life just last year.
Well, Amelia's family were there this morning to take a look at the installation for themselves, and her brother Oscar, sister Harriet, dad Mark and mum Becky join us now. Good morning, all of you.
Good
Thank you for
morning.
coming in and being here today. Becky, I wonder what you made of the installation first.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite wow. The kind of colour really hits you. And, you know, there's not much colour when you're kind of going through this type of loss. But just the number of young people and, you know, how to prevent that number growing is just really poignant.
I think it's a brilliant method of starting that kind of line of communication, opening up. Can you tell us a little bit about Amelia?
Yeah, so Amelia was really happy as a child. She was really good at school. Yeah. All her parents' evenings were an absolute pleasure all the way through. She was bright, she worked hard. And, you know, she was always into lots of activities, so dancing, athletics, gymnastics, hula hooping, biking. She wasn't very good at biking. There was a lot of time in that park spent teaching her. But yeah, I mean, she was constantly cartwheeling. She was, you know, really happy, always had a really good, close group of friends. Yeah, you know, a really happy, very ordinary in many ways life.
And Oscar, what was it like what were sort of the dynamic between the three of you as brothers and sisters? Did you all get on well? Was she fun to spend time with, or would there be the usual sort of sibling fighting and things like that?
There was a bit of both, really. She was always like the role model, because obviously she was the oldest, so she was trying to keep us in line. Yeah, it was it was a bit of a weird dynamic in that me and Harriet would just be causing mischief and she'd be trying to...
Yeah, we'd be the ones fighting and then she'd be the one that we went to for advice and stuff like that.
Yeah. So she was a bit of a sage, but also a little bit bossy with you as well.
Yeah, she was really bossy. She really liked being in control.
Yeah. And Becky, when was it that you saw any kind of changes, or when did you begin to worry? Was there one significant point, or was it gradually over a period of time?
Yeah, I think, you know, hindsight's wonderful, isn't it? And you look back and think there were probably more triggers than we recognised. But probably from the age of 16, and I do think COVID masked some of her kind of symptoms.
For sure.
It was very controlled at home. It was very, you know, very safe. But I think really it's just after her 18th birthday, that January, was the first sign of kind of depression. But she just seemed to kind of snap out of it. And, you know, when you think, well, it was just, you know, the time of year, or one to watch, or stress of A levels, or...
And when you say depression, what were the elements of it?
So just struggling to get up.
Okay.
She'd worked really hard for her mocks and then seemed to kind of lose a bit of motivation and seemed to struggle to be getting her work done. Just kind of minor, nothing that you would put outside.
Just little things, but a collection of them.
Definitely.
Mark, I'm sure you've all talked about this endlessly and tried to understand how and why it happened. Was there a moment that you didn't know about that had happened, or was it was it just as simple as it was the overwhelming feeling of being at that stage in her life that sort of got on top of her?
I think the thing that really crystallised it for us was when she went to university. That seemed to sort of bring the whole thing to a head. So when she first went to university in 2022, she fell over very quickly within 3 weeks and had to come home. And that's when we realised that there was probably quite a serious problem. We had seen some signs of depression before that, but this is when we...
How was she feeling? I mean, I mentioned this to you earlier, and I said we dropped our eldest off at university yesterday, and there's undoubtedly a lot of nerves and anticipation, but also excitement as well. How was she feeling about going to uni?
I think in the run-up to it, I mean, I think because all her friends were going as well, so, you know...
There's a buzz.
There was a buzz about it. She was looking forward to it, and it was only really once, because we took her down to Kent University with all her stuff, and we were settling her in, and she was just crying. She couldn't stop crying. And we couldn't really understand what the problem was. And she couldn't really tell us what the problem was either.
Right.
So we were staying locally with friends, and we said, look, we'll come back tomorrow if you're still feeling like this, but just see how you get on tonight. You know, go and talk to your flatmates and what have you. And so we went home the next day, and everything seemed to be okay. But then within a couple of weeks, she'd pretty much crashed and said, look, I've got to come home. We said, just come home. If you know, we don't want you. We don't want you being there unhappy. Just come home.
Which is exactly what she will have wanted to hear, and what all parents would turn around and say. And then she seemed to get better a little bit, Becky, right?
Yeah, so she was getting some treatment for anxiety and depression. She was seeing a psychologist. She'd been seen to the doctors. And it took a few months, and there were some bumps in it, but she really seemed to be turning a corner, and she'd got her bounce back in her step, and she'd got some work in a restaurant. She was talking about going again for university, switching courses, and it was all positive. And I think there was, a time when we thought, you know what? I probably should say during this time she kind of got an ADHD diagnosis.
Okay.
And that seemed to make so much sense and seemed to join so many dots.
Right.
And initially it was positive, but I think Amelia just had some shame about it, and she struggled with the, control mechanisms that she knew she needed to put into life to deal with the ADHD. Tried medication, but wasn't really
Didn't do anything for her?
Didn't seem to be working. She didn't seem to really want that route.
Right.
So I think, just overwhelmed.
She did go back to university, didn't she?
Did go back, and she was coming home at the weekends. We were trying to do things a bit differently, giving her the kind of ability. It was only 2 hours away, so she could, and then she just phoned up one afternoon and said, no, I need to come home.
And I guess in a way, because one of the things that this campaign is about is getting people to talk, and you would have all been talking a lot at this time, and her being brave enough to say, look, I need to come back, that must have been a bit of a relief in a way, because you knew that she was going to be here and you could all look after her and give her everything that she needed.
Yeah, I mean, you think your child is going to be safe at home.
Yes.
So I think, when she was home, she was very upset when she got home. But the next day, she seemed to be kind of much calmer, much happier. And I think, you kind of think, she's at home, we can get through this. There's a million different routes of getting to where you want to in life. Yeah. We can take time and, we, honestly thought that she was kind of at home and that we could see a way forward.
But that positivity was masking something else, wasn't it, which you now understand? Just to explain a little bit about that.
Yeah, so she came home. She had a good day the next day, spent a lot of time with us all. And then the next day, I took her for a coffee, which I quite often did to get her up. Gave her a few jobs to do that day. We'd also arranged for some further psychiatrist support. So it was kind of like, let's start again. Let's see if anything's been missed. Let's... we had a coffee. She was very quiet, but kind of perked up by the end of it. Yeah. And then I went for a meeting in London, and that was the last time I saw her.
Can't begin to imagine, Mark, how you deal with that, how you pick up the pieces of losing one of your children.
I think when it happens, you think, you basically don't know how you're going to carry on. It just felt like it just blown the family apart. And I think everyone goes through that sort of trauma phase for a few weeks, where you're just functioning day to day, really. But obviously, we have to be here to support these guys. Oscar was doing his A-levels, so you just take it one day at a time. We've had tremendous support from our family, our friends, the wider community, and the town we live in, as well as some sort of external professional support. And our employees have been very understanding and accommodating. It just takes it. It's a cliche, but it takes time. You do start to feel better. Obviously, we think about her all the time.
Yeah.
She's never out of my mind.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Somehow it does get better, but it's still tough.
Yeah, I think we were talking last week actually about grief and how the grief never goes away. and it will always be there, and it's from loving somebody.
You want it to be there to a certain degree because that's your, you know, that's your memory. So.
Yes.
But
what advice would you give to any other parents that might be seeing some signs? Or, you know, when I asked you about the question and you said in hindsight these were little things, what would you say?
I say listen to your gut instinct because it's normally right. You know your child better than anyone. But there is also, you know, we weren't aware of all these organisations, and this was not going to be something that we were going to deal with in our life. It wasn't in the plan. There was no sign that Amelia was going to kind of have struggles. So just talk, just look for the help. You know, you're not necessarily going to find it in the NHS. You know, it's very difficult to navigate mental health. But, you know, there's so many organisations of which obviously Calm.
Karma's huge.
Big one, yeah.
Harriet, I wonder how you all like to remember your sister now as a family.
Yeah, I mean, we made a big memory box that we've put in her room, and we like buy flowers like every month, and we put them in her room and take down the old ones. And we talk about her as much as we can. We don't want to forget her memory and what she was like. Yeah.
She's still very present, Oscar.
Yeah, we do a lot of family holidays to kind of try and get away from it all. And I find those really nice because we can talk about it openly. It's just us. I really enjoy those to try and remember her.
Amazing.
And get away from it all, really.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us this morning, and thank you for talking and sharing your story too. It's one of the crucial things I think I've learnt from this morning's show.
Unquestionably.
Just keep talking.
Thank you all for
Thank you. If you need any help and support for yourself or for a loved one, head along to our website to find helplines and organisations that
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
Dawn, I mean, this is incredible what's happened here, and it's ingenious, and what you're holding in your hand is the reason how this is possible and how it works, and you're going to talk us through it.
So it kind of mimics the penile anatomy, all right? So these are like the spongy vascular chambers that you have in the penis, and when you get aroused, you get an influx of blood into the penis. In this case, we've got, I think it's saline in here. This is actually underneath Mo's skin in his abdomen.
Right.
And then
So that's the reservoir,
That's the reservoir. These chambers lie in the penis, which has been reconstructed from skin in his forearm. And this little part actually sits next to the testicle in the scrotal sac. And literally, Mo can just push that, and we just push that a few times.
So the water from the reservoir then goes down the tube.
Goes down the tube, and actually, it really is a very firm device,
better
isn't
now,
it? Okay, so if you can see that's really quite solid.
Yeah.
All right, and then
so if you hold them, can I just come around there because I just want to, because they look very obviously when they're sitting in your hand they look very similar. So if they're like that,
yes.
And then how do you release it?
You then press this button, which is again underneath the skin.
Yeah.
And
Philip's going to be surprised. Do you watch?
Yeah.
It won't go down.
Here you go. Now you're going to have to do it. You do have to press quite firmly. There we go. They're starting to go down now.
Okay,
it's just because it's new. That's obviously why. You know.
So this button, the button that Dawn is pressing there, is actually
Oh, there you go! Wow, gosh, that suddenly happened,
Okay.
didn't it?
Yeah.
Very sudden there. Someone at the door. So that button is in your scrotum.
Yeah, just slightly above the one that's obviously there's a deflate and an inflate button.
Yeah.
So obviously inflate first, and then when you finish, the deflate.
So you have to press that through the skin, do you?
Yes.
So does it not hurt when you press the button?
It is a bit sore just now because it's obviously fairly new.
Yeah.
But over time period, it'll calm down. You know.
So that's the mechanics sorted. But sensation-wise, how does that feel? Does it feel the same? Is it what another man would experience, or?
I'd say it doesn't feel like another man would feel. You know, I mean, I'm totally different. You know,
Right.
because obviously it's because I've got that. I mean, it's not like if I sit and watch something, you know, I start getting sensation. Nothing like that. I physically have to do something. But once it's there, you know what I mean. There's no holding me back. You know what I mean.
Well, I mean, once it's there, it stay there for days.
Yeah, exactly.
which is and they've.
Funny you should say that. You know, when obviously I came out of hospital on the 10th of January, and 10th of July. I'd got a train back up to Scotland, and I had to keep it. It was erect for 2 weeks.
But you had to, and you had to do that for it to heal.
For it to heal, because that's the way it works.
You're sitting there with a bag on your lap.
I managed to do something to not get noticed. You know?
Good gracious! So they have taken, and you have now an 8-inch penis because they've taken that from your.
Yeah, they took it from Mum.
Yeah.
If you want to.
Were you not tempted to say, could you take it up to here?
No, I never. I wasn't given a choice.
And this is where the skin grafts have been taken there in order for them to stay.
Initially, that was done 3 years ago. So over the time period, they took that first, and then they shaped it, and then did whatever they did. The old one I had, I mean, it never went to waste. My surgeon, he used that to make my scrotum.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And what about sort of future relationships with women and things like that? I mean, will you be very open about what's happened to you?
I will. I will now, because I've learned the hard way.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's something I need to get into my head. You know, be honest. I've got something to show for it now, so I think it's right to be honest. You know, rather than before. Hold on a minute. Maybe but now it's totally the opposite. You know.
What about because this happened to you, this terrible accident when you were only 6 years old, so you are still a virgin.
Yes, I'm still a virgin.
What about children?
Children, yeah, that's a possibility. That's I've got an outpatient's appointment on the 1st of October. When my doctor's going to be discussing future, what he's wanting to do, you know, obviously. And he's, in the meantime, I mean, he knows what my testosterone levels are, and he knows, like, you know, how much sperm I'm producing. Everything's normal. It's probably better than yours.
I've no doubt about it. Sometimes you just don't quite know what to say. So that is actually it's quite heavy, isn't it?
It is quite heavy, yeah. And you're aware that it's. And we were having a conversation earlier, and you were saying, you know, you've been chatting to friends and saying, you know, does your penis feel heavy? Because of course, this is all uncharted territory for Mo. So it is quite heavy. But I mean, and these kind of devices are used, for example, in gentlemen who might have had their penis removed because of a cancer or something, or maybe for people who are impotent. Mo's story obviously is very, very, thankfully, unusual. But although you lost one testicle, you retained one testicle, didn't you? And so that's why he can still produce sperm. And so, you know, fathering a child is quite a possibility.
The physical aspect so closely with this particular part of a guy's body, so closely revolves around your mental state of mind. And we started off by talking about how you felt then. How do you feel now?
Now I feel brilliant. I mean, obviously, you know, I mean, I'm still a virgin, but I'm working on that, you know. But I feel brilliant, you know. I mean, I feel like, you know, before people always got the impression that I was walking along the road, somebody was talking about me, but not now, you know. I've got something to show for.
We have to start off with you, and just huge congratulations, and just so incredible. And I can't imagine what that moment was for you, knowing that you've done the double-double.
No, it was amazing. It was pretty amazing. It's every athlete's dream to win Olympics, but to do it in London here at home, and then to carry another 4 years and manage to pull it off the double. It was pretty amazing.
That's incredible.
What happens when you get home after all of that, just in your head?
You just get back to my normal life and see my kids, sit down at a table and eat a good meal and live a normal life.
Do you say to him, will you just run down to the shops for me?
Yeah, I do.
You know you're going to get everything really quickly.
Well, first thing I do is I just hand the kids back to him, all 4 of them. And then, he just gets back to normal, you know, do normal stuff and get family life. You know?
Do you run? Do you continue to run?
Yeah, I still run. It's not as tense as, leading up to the Olympics where you run twice a day, go gym, and, every hour is almost calculated. When I come back home, you kind of a little bit more relaxed, but still run like once or sometimes twice a day, and mainly just get involved with the kids and been chilling out with them. I've been spending a lot of time with them and get to know Hussein a little bit more, and it's nice to be able to just spend that time where I miss, spending time with the kids.
And that is important, isn't it? Because this is sort of the reason why you're here, really, to talk about the fact that you say get back to a normal life, but your life together and your family life is actually far from normal because you do spend an awful lot away in order to win those medals, those 4 Olympic golds. The dedication, the time you have to take away from your family is huge. It's a big sacrifice.
Yeah, it's a massive sacrifice, and 6 months of the year I'm away from my family and the kids, and it's hard. Sometimes it's very difficult. Some of the kids, when they're ill or not doing as well as they should do at home or in school, you want to be there for them, and it's difficult. But in my career, my career is so short. You just have to make most of it, and
At this moment.
For you, Tanya, then, what are those 6 months like when he's away?
It's tough, especially now with more kids. Initially, it was when we just had Rihanna 4 years ago. It was just the one kid, so I could dedicate my time to her, and it wasn't as much of a struggle as it is now with 4 kids. So this year in particular has been hard because Mo's been away pretty much all year. So I find myself just knuckling down and trying to forget about that side of things and just focusing on doing what I need to do while he's gone. So first couple of weeks after he's gone is an adjustment. That's the hardest part, and then when he comes back, the same again. But in between, you just get conditioned to it, you just focus on what you need to do.
Well, what's that adjustment like when he comes home?
It's difficult because suddenly we've got Dad again, and there's a bit of a limbo period, and then he's as messy as anything, so he comes home and the house is a tip. He comes home and brings 3 suitcases.
You are an Olympic mess maker, aren't you? Gold medal.
I'm definitely up there. It's hard because 6 months a year you live away from home, and you have to get comfortable wherever you go. And I normally like to take a lot of stuff, like a lot of gadgets, a lot of clothes, and when I come back, my room is just...
The house is like that.
It's like a mess.
Yeah.
So how long does it take for you all to fit back into the routine?
A couple of weeks at least.
A couple of weeks, yeah.
It
doesn't take me long, but for the kids to warm up to you again, to know you're going to stay a little bit longer, it takes them a little while.
So that's why I guess winning is even more sweet, because then it must be nothing more heartbreaking to be away for 6 months of the year, make all those sacrifices, and then to not do as well as you thought you were going to do.
Yeah, it was, and even in the 10K, I got really emotional afterwards when I fell over in the race. I got really emotional because, you train so hard for that event, and I promised Rihanna I was going to get a medal, and at one moment I thought that was over. I thought that was gone. That was gone.
Tell me also about the sleeping arrangement. I don't get too personal here, but this whole thing. What do you sleep in? What's over your face?
Altitude tent.
An altitude tent.
Yeah, it's like a. Have anyone got video? It's hard to explain.
It's like a mini canopy. It's a square shape that sits over his head and shoulders.
Right.
And it's a plastic transparent sheet that covers it, and basically it's simulated so that it's at high altitude. So when he's sleeping, it's like he's being at 10,000 feet elevation.
And so it reduces the oxygen?
Correct.
Right, because I was going to say if it increased it, you'd never be able to light a candle. But a reduction, and it used to be over the whole bed, didn't it?
Correct, yeah, it used to be over the whole bed, so I used to have to sleep in it as well, which wasn't very pleasant.
So you were sleeping, and you're not doing the running at 10,000 feet?
Yeah. So I became very fit very quickly.
And that's the reason why you do it, is because it's obviously all it benefits your fitness and things like that, but it's not very good for sort of leaning over and having a good night kiss, is it? If he's sitting in a tent.
It's not very intimate. It's not very intimate.
Lift the tent up.
Correct, yeah. You have to work around it somehow, but...
Sometimes you do get lazy. I'm like, oh, good night, babe. Oh.
Forgot my tent.
Yeah.
Pull the front down. Of course, also, we've got to mention it, really, because there was the controversy of Alberto Salazar, your trainer. And so, and he, of course, has denied any wrongdoing, has never been officially charged. But you got drawn into that scandal. And for a family, because it was both of you, you both had to live through that.
Yeah, it was difficult. It was difficult, and, you can just sort of give it 100% to what you do, and that's what I do. But I got drawn into it, and it was difficult times.
Yeah, it was tough for us because as a family, you haven't done anything, and suddenly you find yourself in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. And he wasn't accused of anything. That was the biggest thing for us, is that what's he done? He hasn't been accused of anything, yet we find ourselves in the headlines every day. But we've moved on from that, and it's all water under the bridge now. It's all positive. We've come out of Rio, and we're just so buzzing from that you forget about all of that.
For more of the same, just click here.
And my Olympic training has been 12 years, from Beijing up until now. And to know you haven't got that gold medal at that time, you know, I needed a minute to let that sink in.
There you were, you went to this modelling job in good faith. It had been checked out by your then agent, Phil Green, so you were happy that everything was fine.
Yeah.
When did you first think, this doesn't feel right?
It was when I walked into the studio and there was just silence. Normally someone would greet you at the door, close to the door, but I just didn't hear anything. So that's why when I saw the door saying studio on it, I went to open it, but before I had the time to quickly process my thoughts, that is exactly when the masked man put his arm around my neck and my mouth and nose.
So and injected you?
Yeah, and another one came to the front of me and injected me in my wrist.
So there were two men at this point?
Two masks.
When you saw that syringe, I mean, this happened in seconds. When you saw that syringe in his hand, what was going through your mind?
Absolute panic. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know why they were doing it. At this point, I still thought someone wrong had got me and the shoot was still supposed to go on. I didn't connect it as a setup.
Yeah.
And did you
where
instantly
did you wake
pass
up?
out?
When you passed out, when did you first wake up? Where were you when you woke up?
I woke up in the boot of a car in a zip-up bag.
Oh my word!
And I had tape on my mouth and handcuffs on my feet and my.
And they took pictures of you. We now know. You're looking at those pictures now. Can you believe?
That's not.
But the size of
that's a reenactment there. But you were inside a plastic bag. You were sweating. You could hardly breathe.
Yeah, it was
Your
a really
mouth
hot
was
day,
taped up. What was that experience like?
It was horrible. I was still drugged up, so I didn't process it automatically, but I was trying to shout and trying to find my way out, but I didn't know what was happening.
The car was moving? The
car was moving and the radio was blaring as well, so I couldn't really get the attention, so I had to really raise my voice, like, driver, driver, where are we? And then it took a while for them to actually pull over the car and come round the back, and then I was still asking questions when they came round.
But were they still masked?
They were still masked at this point, yeah.
But you were able to see something in the back of that car, a suitcase.
Yeah, it was when they put the pullover, I saw through the gap that they'd put an empty suitcase above it, and at that point I thought that I was going to die, because what other reason would they put an empty suitcase about my size on top?
That was what you thought was your coffin?
Yeah. I was hoping for like a non-painful death.
Oh, I know.
I know. Do you know, Chloe, I think when we saw you give your news conference, and even when you started this interview talking, I think you speak very well, you're very well composed, and a lot of people don't understand that. They understand what they see now, but they don't understand why you're not constantly on show as a nervous wreck.
Yeah, that's just how I am as a person. I try to be as strong as possible. And I was in Italy for 3 weeks before I actually came home to the UK, so I had what people here didn't witness was me crying almost every day, me being too paranoid to leave my room. Any noises I hear, I would freak out, having nightmares. No one here witnessed that. I only started to get more reassured as it came to the end of the 3-week period, when police were trying to reassure me that they know the truth of the story and I don't have to be as fearful as I am now when I return to the UK.
Well, after a 3-week investigation, the police in Italy have charged a man, Lucas Herba, with kidnap and extortion. They say your story is credible, and court documents have confirmed the key details of your story as well. It's also been confirmed that you were drugged with ketamine and that there was an injection hole in your arm. The first time you laid eyes on Herba, or you heard his voice, these two men in this car, they brought you to this country farmhouse. You had no idea where you were, what country you were in, if you'd been put on a plane, a boat or whatever, but you woke up in this farmhouse. Tell us about Herba, and the first time you heard him, he was rowing with the other two men, because it seems to be that you were not the intended target.
No, because they said they'd call the boss, and I didn't know the boss would be Herba. So there was like an argument going on downstairs, and then that was the last I ever saw of the masked man, and the one that I saw that wasn't masked. So then eventually he came upstairs and sat on the bed and said, I don't know if you remember, but I met you briefly in Paris at the airport.
Did you remember?
No, I didn't recognise him at first.
Did he tell you, Herba, did he tell you what the intention was after they kidnapped you?
For sex trafficking. He said I would be sold to somewhere in the Middle East, and that the men would use the girls for about 3 months, pass them around to all the relatives and friends, and then when they're eventually bored of the girls, and they just feed them to the tigers.
And they feed them to the tigers?
Yeah.
How terrifying. I mean, that is absolutely ghastly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he opened up negotiations. He was sending emails back to the UK, and your agent, your then agent, was handling those and brokering some sort of deal, which Herba said that he would accept some sort of payment for you. Wasn't it difficult for you then, when you had an agent who was working on your behalf doing that, to then leave that agent so quickly after coming back?
No, because I can't help but blame him, because my mum said that when she called him and said that I was missing, she was urging him to check out the studio and the number of the photographer to see if I turned up to the shoot. And then the next day, he was able to check that the studio doesn't exist.
Although on Good Morning Britain, he says that he did check and that he looked on Google Maps and the studio was there.
Save himself, but he said he called other agencies within Milan and no one had ever heard of the studio. So I did feel really let down, because I don't take bookings through my email or DM on Instagram, because for that reason I feel that it's not safe. But then to rely on a manager to have done all the checks and then be let down and almost lose my life because of it, of course I'm going to change agency.
I mean, all this, when you read it all, it sounds like a film.
Yeah.
You know, it's incredible to think you're sitting here. How has this affected you? How has it changed you?
Well, I still am scared. Even when I'm home, I'm not going to be the same person again. I'm going to have a complete career change. It's really affected my life.
You're going to have a complete career change. So
Yeah.
what do you mean? What will the future hold for you?
I haven't really thought about the future yet so much, but I know that I won't be the same as what I was before.
You don't want to model anymore?
Not glamour model, no.
It's World Continence Week this week, and currently 1.5 million children in the UK are living with a bowel or bladder condition.
Yes, so Dancing on Ice star Molly Pearce has teamed up with 8-year-old Katie Thurling, both of whom live with stoma bags, to help break the stigma and encourage others to speak out. The pair join us now alongside Katie's mum Kelly to share their stories. Good morning to all of you.
Hello. What glamorous couch this
Very,
is.
very glamorous couch. Lovely to see you, Molly. Katie, thank you for coming in. It's really lovely to see you on an important day like today. Can you tell us a little bit about your stoma bag? I think it's got a name, hasn't it?
Yeah.
What's it called? Diamond. Why is it called Diamond?
Well, Diamond is the girl's best friend, and I just honestly love diamonds, and I've just named it Diamond because it's like a diamond to me, because it helps me, and people call someone a diamond if they're really helpful, and this was really helpful to me.
Yeah, I think my wife might use that as a reason for me to get more diamonds. They're really helpful.
She's got a big birthday coming up. You better do good.
That's amazing. I love it. So tell us a little bit about life before you had Diamond. What was it like?
It was really bad because I couldn't really be in school, and I had to be in hospital a lot more because I was born with a thing that would make me really poorly, and I just missed out on a lot of learning, and I thought that my friends would have someone else to play with and grow out of playing with me.
Yeah. But you were also very brave, because if anybody has to have an operation at all, I would be, and I know you would be. You'd be scared. Did you feel scared before you had it?
No, I was like very calm and all right, because the doctors were very nice and they were very gentle with what they were doing. They knew what to do, and they were stripped careful and gentle and did it all right.
They did do it all right.
Yeah.
How does it feel having the bag?
Well, I don't really feel anything at all. It just feels like nothing's there.
Yeah.
No, but you are a bit of a superstar in your class, though, aren't you? Because I've heard that you did a PowerPoint I wouldn't even know how to do that. A PowerPoint presentation of like 10 different... What did you do? You told them all about it, right?
Yeah, I explained every detail of a stoma and how it helps people who's been poorly and who has one now. And I was happy that they asked me questions, because whenever people ask me questions, it makes me feel happy because they want to learn, and a lot of my friends wanted to learn and ask me a lot of questions.
It's brilliant that you're so happy to share, because it changes everything. And I know that you've used your voice and your experience to help other people as well, because the importance of having bathrooms for people like you that have stomas, and public bathrooms that are set up as well. What have you been able to do?
So I've recorded some videos and say, hi guys, today I'm going to be reviewing these toilets and been reviewing them. And every disabled toilet I've been showing if they had a hook shelf or mirror, and that's what a storm-friendly toilet needs.
A hook, shelf and a mirror.
Yeah. And when it has them, you get to know like everything that you need, and you get to like put stuff like, you wouldn't put baby stuff on the floor, so why else should you put stomach stuff on the floor?
When she explains it like that, it's simple.
Makes perfect sense.
Perfect sense. So hold on, how did you meet Molly? Like, how did this girl action happen?
So basically, ever since I started watching Traitors, she was on it then, and ever since then, I started sending lots of good luck videos and hoping she'd do really good. And then soon she got on Dancing on Ice.
Yeah, that's when we connected.
I started always sending pictures of, videos of a song, and I would put my own song of what they did. Like sometimes I'd send pictures and sometimes I'd send songs of my...
So every week me and Colin would get either a photo or a video with support from Katie, and it was so nice. We used to like run to each other's dressing rooms, be like, it's posted, it's up. And you decorated your bag, didn't you? Decorated diamonds, so it was really lovely.
But Molly, that must be amazing for you as well. That must be a really amazing feeling to know.
It is
that
lovely.
You're connecting.
It's so lovely, but at Katie's age, I would not have had half the confidence she did. So I think it's incredible that you're spreading so much awareness, and especially in schools, because you're not only educating the children, you're also educating teachers as well, because a lot of them are unaware of the impact it might have or the facilities you might need. So you're doing really incredible things. So thank you from me as well.
And tell us about Eric, because you've teamed up together with this charity to try and help bring awareness to what you both have to deal with, and lots of other people as well.
Yeah, so they support families, well, children and families with bowel and bladder conditions. And I think we sometimes forget the impact it can have on the families as well. Like, I know it was really difficult for my parents. It's hard to see your child so unwell, and it's not always possible to get in touch with the NHS or to contact a nurse for advice. So having Eric's been so helpful. I know to you, they've...
Definitely.
Do you feel the same, Kelly?
100%. General practitioners are fabulous, but they don't have as much knowledge as your bowel and colorectal specialists. And, as much as you have wonderful stoma nurses out there, they're not 24/7. And Eric, even though they're not 24/7, you can drop them an email at any point as well, and their support is invaluable.
Do you identify what Molly was saying? She was saying it was difficult for her parents to see her being ill, and you must have experienced that for Katie.
100%, and it's that you'll always have a mum guilt. Am I going to be resented later for potentially having scars on her little body? Is she going to be thankful? But it's the best thing we've done. You're a new child, aren't you?
Yeah.
Happy, healthy, and love life.
But she's had some comments in public as well, though, hasn't she, that haven't necessarily been... I'm sure she's dealt with them like only she would, but what sort of things has she faced if you've been in public?
People being disapproving of the fact she has her bag out on show. We've had children at a shopping centre asking their mum, oh, what's that girl got a bag on her tummy? And the response, it's disgusting, you don't need to know about things like that. To which Katie replied, what is disgusting is my life before this bag, thank you, and walked off.
Good for you.
But she does see, now it's more, rather than seeing it as ignorance, you see it as an opportunity to educate people, don't you? And that's how she is. It's all about educating people. She loves watching football at Ellen Road, and she will be straight in.
Your Leeds fan?
She is.
Oh, wow, hold on. Big season next season.
You were getting on before, weren't you?
But she'll be straight in talking to the team there about, thank you for sorting your bathrooms out, and it's the first part of call.
And it's not just the practicality of life, it's also enjoying life and thriving. Like, you can swim, you can trampoline, you can do all these amazing things.
Yeah, and Kate is a lover of music, concerts, the child, her first concert.
You can't sing that.
4-year-old. First concert at 4-year-old was madness.
I love
Really?
that.
Yeah, she will fly through concerts now, and it's that case of the more things she can attend, the better, isn't it?
What do you love doing, Katie?
I love sending videos on how to be supportive with stomas and everything that can help people who has a stoma, and say that it's not embarrassing to show your stoma, for people who are very embarrassed to show it.
Yeah, we tell people, everyone goes to the toilet, we just do it a little bit differently. So why should we feel ashamed of that, eh?
You shouldn't.
The more you can talk to people, the better.
And you should, I mean, the importance of educating people means that you're here with us today.
Yes.
Where should you be today, Katie?
I should have been in a school trip at Edenton, but
What's Eden Tan?
it's a place where you can go canoeing and paddleboarding too, and you can also do like lots of activities there, like climbing up mountains.
It sounds amazing.
Is it called Leeds Kayaking and Activities Sailing Activity Centre?
It's just Edenton.
Edenton.
I'm not sure what else Edenton.
Well, maybe we could sort out Eden Tan to reach out and get you to come back on another day, because we've loved having you come in and be so amazing today alongside Molly and your mum as well. It would be amazing if they could reach out, I think.
Well, we have just found out that they have. And so you can go for a day and have a fun day out with everybody and just go and enjoy it. So you've been here, you've educated everybody, you've had a chat to us, met him, got your autograph.
For the teacher.
Who was it? Who was your teacher?
Mrs. Stringer.
Mrs. Stringer.
Mrs. Stringer,
you're
incoming
sorted.
Mrs. Stringer. Sounds
No
like she's got
worries.
great taste.
And you can go kayaking too. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thanks,
Thank
Molly.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
You're amazing.
Amazing.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
So you've gone bigger than last year, despite everything that everybody said to you. Why?
I think because after Christmas, obviously, the kids said to me, "Is the way we spend Christmas bad, Mum?" And I said, "Absolutely no way. In fact, you're going to get a few more this year because I love you."
I mean, you can't even see your tree.
No, I must admit I am an ace bargain hunter. Absolutely brilliant. So
And a lot of this...
Again, it's no debt.
We'll pick up on that, because you say that it looks outrageous. Well, it is outrageous, but you look for deals. You watch Martin Lewis very closely. You make sure that when you do buy, that you save as much money as you possibly can.
Absolutely, yeah. I've managed to do it all again without credit cards, without debt, anything like that. So I start at the beginning of the year. So, the way I see it is I'm not asking anybody else for a penny of their money. I pay for the kids myself, and each to their own at Christmas.
How long does it take them to open all of those on Christmas Day? You must be there forever.
Normally takes about 3 hours to open everything. We have a break in between and have a bacon butty and a cup of tea, but yeah, it's about 3 hours.
How long does it take to wrap them?
I start in August.
Oh my gosh, wow. But there's things in there also, there's things that the kids really need. You say, there's things for their school uniform, bits and bobs like that. So you do wrap an awful lot of things that it's not just toys, it's things that they need.
Yeah, of course. There's a lot of things there that they need. There's a lot of things there that they want, and there's a lot of things that I choose to buy them, things that I think that they're going to like.
But also you say that they're things that they need, but you've admitted that there's stuff in the bedrooms that hasn't been used from last year, presents that have never been touched.
I think in the documentary that's coming out tonight, it showed that there was a popcorn maker and a notepad that Ella hasn't used. So if you think of all the presents that they've got, for them to not use 2 things out of all them prezzies, I don't think that's too bad.
Well, just looking down all the comments, and you can imagine, you had all this last year, so you can imagine what everybody's saying. Although Marina says she spent £3,000 on her 3 children, don't know why, because they wrote a letter to Santa and only asked for a handful of things. So the kids don't necessarily want all that, and most of the people who are saying anything on social media is saying it's the thought that counts. It's not all about presents.
Yeah, I'm quite fiery when it comes to my kids, and I have bit back at a couple of people, and I've noticed that the ones that are judging don't like to be judged back. They kind of retreat and go, "Oh, how dare she?" So I think a lot of it is keyboard warriors and people that, the ones on my wavelength just think either good for her or it's not my cup of tea, but it's up to her what she does.
She's
not on any benefits.
It's not the sort of, that's not the essence of that site behind you, magnificent as it is not the spirit of Christmas.
I think if I was doing it 365 days a year and giving them gifts every day, I'd be spoiling them. For us, we don't go out partying every single weekend. You know what I mean? You won't find me at a bar necking Jaeger bombs every weekend. I'm at home, me and my partner, we work hard all year round. And if that's what we decide to spend our money on, our children, for one day of the year, well, then why not? Who's anybody to judge it?
No, totally. But sadly, they do. And also, as tough and as strong as you are, it did affect you last year. And it affected you so much so that on Christmas Eve, you ended up in hospital.
I did, yeah. I think if anybody goes from being a normal mum at home watching telly to then being in America in front of millions of people on telly, it's, you know, it is going to take a stress and a strain on you. That's why this year I feel so much stronger in myself. I think, you know, my tree gave me amazing opportunities this year, both in film and TV. And I'm still on the same lines as last year. If you don't like it, if you're appalled by it, scroll on. If you find, oh, it's boring, turn the page. Don't look at it. I'll do what I want to do. You do what you want to do. It's not a problem.
What does your husband get? Has he got any prezzies in that pile?
Oh, yeah. I've got him a little bit less little bits, but he's got a couple of really big presents this year, like main presents.
What about you?
That I know he's going to be made up with. So.
Have you got loads of presents?
Me, I get a few bits, yeah. Me, yeah. I get a few, yeah, off the kids. The kids buy me little things and James goes out and buys me bits. But, yeah, they say it's all about giving, and that's what I love to do for my family. I love to give them presents.
And what's Father Christmas going to bring? It looks like everything's under the tree. He's going to be thinking, well, she's got everything.
Father Christmas, he doesn't discriminate. He brings them a little sack, usually things that they've asked for on their list. So they're no different to any other child.
Santa's agreeing here.
He's all right. He agrees.
Good luck, Santa.
He can get down the chimney. He might not be able to get under the tree, but he can get down the chimney. Thank you very much indeed.
And a Merry Christmas to your family. If you enjoyed that, there's more of the same right here. And make sure you subscribe so that you never miss the best moments from this morning.